Hello, Play the Game family. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. This episode is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. They are an amazing online supplier and have been around since the beginning of the game as Michigan's premier paintball field and paintball supplier since 1987. They are rapidly expanding into the online retail space and supplying everything you need to be the best paintball player you can be. They have got it all. Head over to lonewolfpaintball.com and shop all of your favorite brands. And they also boast amazing customer service and will have this out to you with same-day shipping, which is amazing. It's always nice to know that your stuff is on its way immediately so you can start to use it that very next weekend of play. Check out their YouTube, Lone Wolf Paintball, and their Instagram at Lone Wolf PB, and stay up to date with all of their deals and sales. Play the Game podcast is immensely honored to have them on board, and we cannot wait for you guys to check out lonewolfpaintball.com and become a part of their community. This episode is brought to you by the one and only G2 Paintball. If you are in Arizona or on the West Coast and soon to be nationally, be on the lookout for G2 training dates and be sure to sign up. They are a paintball athletics company designed to help you become the best paintball athlete imaginable by running you through all of the different moves and techniques that you need to know and you're going to be implementing on the paintball field. So that way when you get into the situations, the muscle memory is dialed in. You are also going to learn skills. You're going to learn tactics, and of course the agility, which is training to maximize your performance on and off the field. This stuff is used by myself and Marcelo, and we're pushing paintball players to become pro or just dominate in your division. Don't make excuses out there. Physical fitness is at an all-time high in paintball, and you cannot win paintball tournaments unless you are ready to go physically on Sunday when you're dead tired and you're ready to hold up that trophy with your friends and family. So you got to be prepared, and G2 will help you do that. Head on over to g2paintball.com. Also check out their Instagram at G2Paintball and give our man Victor Gamboa at Gamboa Limited, that's his Instagram, a follow and support him as well. It's owned and operated by Victor and Rusty, and they're doing tremendous things in the sport. We absolutely love G2, and we cannot wait for you to get involved. So have some fun with G2 Paintball. Today's episode of PTG is brought to you by Transfuse, the amazing premium rapid hydration multiplier and immunity fortifying formula that is scientifically designed to replenish you at the cellular level. And they use all natural ingredients in their products. It is packed full of zinc, vitamin B6, vitamin C, sodium, potassium, and choline. And when you take this product, you are going to feel the difference on and off the field. I know that playing paintball with Transfuse has been a game changer, and it will be for you as well. If you head over to translabs.com, that's translabs.com, and use code PLAYTHEGAME, you will get 10% off. And if you subscribe to a monthly delivery service, you get an additional 10% off. So you can take advantage of a total of 20% off on these amazing products. Also, head over to their Instagram at transfuse.official and check them out, and be on the lookout for their new flavors and brain booster nootropics that are coming soon. We absolutely love Transfuse from top to bottom, one of the best companies in the world with the greatest people running it. So head on over and become a part of their community and check them out.
What's going on, PTG fam? Thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. My goodness, it feels like it's been way too long since we've been able to sit down, hang out, have a conversation, and deliver you guys some amazing content. So we're really excited to get back on the horn. And this episode, we have Kevin Bredthauer, San Diego Dynasty's head coach and longtime professional, total legend in the game. SK1 Coach of the Year, Coach of the Event, 2 events in a row, and has just been an absolute dominator and has really come in and revamped the Dynasty organization and done a fantastic job. So sitting down and talking with him and answering a lot of your questions was an amazing time. Without further ado, we're going to hop in the show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication. And the crowd starts chanting Harmon. Great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game. He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have Kevin Bredthauer, a.k.a. Skinny Kevin, coach of San Diego Dynasty. MVP, coach of the year, coach of the event. Actually, I think 2 events in a row he got coach of the event. Makes sense. Just absolutely came in and dominated, turned the Dynasty camp upside down, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, at the event, Trozen was like, "Hey, come over here." I was like, "Uh-oh, what did I do wrong?" And he's like, "Here, you forgot to get this at the last event." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Dude, that is awesome. And let
Yeah,
me be the first to say live on the show, congratulations to both of you. Huge, huge event. Marcelo, you snagged up all the hardware. Same with Kevin. You guys were dominant out there and brought a tear to my eye to see my old boy holding the golden barrel, holding up that trophy, and super proud of both of you guys and everything you accomplished out there.
Thank you, Ty. Means a lot. And honestly, kind of cool is that Blake and I shared the Golden Barrel, shared the MVP thing, which is so funny because it's the first time it's ever been done. And normally I think
Major
that
shout out to Blake. Dude,
Blake's a beast. He's an
stunt.
animal. He played amazing. Normally
Yeah.
I would think that that's kind of weird, but I love that going into the event, I kept saying, stop playing to be an MVP because we were having some bad practices. Kevin, you know how frustrated I was. I kept saying, stop trying to be the MVP. Let's be the MVT, most valuable team. Fuck the MVP, And so then for like the one award that is given for an MVP, they couldn't even decide on our team who it was, because there were multiple people playing like that. It was kind of cool.
Well, and you guys are both co-owners of Dynasty as well. So to be able to share that award on the year that you guys solidified that too is super awesome.
Totally. Absolutely. Yeah, it was special. Kevin, you saved us.
what do you mean?
Yeah, you saved us, dude. Rusty did a great job while he was here, but he decided to retire and take a step back a couple weeks before the first event of the year, and we were scrambling, not knowing what to do. You came in. We didn't have a great event then, but you really have done an amazing job, man. I couldn't be more excited and honored to have you as a coach. You are just a phenomenal individual at what you do, truly, and I'm glad to have you on the show so that the world can kind of get to know you a little bit, because I know you're reserved. Your Instagram's private. I told you before the show, we're going to make sure everyone tries to add you. Because I've had a lot of great coaches. I've played for some of the, more like highly decorated coaches. And honestly, you're one of my favorites. You're just fantastic. Is that it? You got nothing?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
at least say thank you.
You had a bunch of good coaches, right?
At least say thank you. You know what I mean?
Oh, thanks.
You're not a great roommate though.
What? Neither are you.
I mean, Friday night you come in.
It takes them 45 minutes to like shower and everything, do blow dry his hair. Like it's just a lot. It's a lot. And then
blow dry my hair. Come on. This stuff's all
I
natural.
didn't use the blow dryer. I don't even have enough hair to blow dry. So
wake up every morning, you're in there for an hour. Who knows what you're doing in there?
So, hey, I just want to stop you right there, Marsh, just so we can kind of dive into that. What is it about Skinny that has accentuated him in your eyes as a coach for the Dynasty organization and what he did in 2021 for the team?
He does a really good job of trying to build relationships with each player. And when you have a coach that does that and tries to connect with each player and actually show that they care about you, the players want to play for that coach. The players go out on the field and they bust their ass because they want to come in and get a high five from their coach. They want to make sure that the coach, sees them working for them. It was something similar, playing for Shane Pastana. He kind of had that effect as well. Like we all wanted to play for Shane because, he instilled so much belief in us and created this relationship. Kevin does it in a little bit of a different way, a little more blunt, a little more, make you question yourself sometimes, but you know that he really cares about you. And again, with like each individual on the team, I mean, Kevin has reached out so many times for me to go meet up with him, to go have lunch and, hang out with him and actually get to know him. And that stuff goes a long way. That's not stuff that all the coaches are doing, in my opinion. I don't think so. And, coaches have different tactics, but for me, I think it's huge. And then I think to come in and coach a team like Dynasty, that's got to be one of the toughest things to do because the personalities on the team and coach is just not afraid. He's like, hey, shut up. I don't care if you're Ryan Greenspan, Alex Frazier, Yosh, I don't care who you are. Just shut up. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do it this way. And it might not work, but this is what we're going to do. So everybody just buy in. And the team has gotten behind that. And that's huge. You can't have like things going in too many different directions. Otherwise people don't play together, So I think if you put together like how difficult it would be to coach this team paired with all the stuff he does individually with the players, I mean, those awards are very well earned.
Yeah, I think it's a little different because I've known like some of the guys for 20 plus years. So like those guys
Sure.
I already know, like,
Hmm.
Alex and Yosh and Ryan I've known for so long. And I've known like you and Blake for a while, but like Mikey and Arturo, I don't really know them. Like so it was I had to figure them out. And that's why I think we didn't do as well as I'd like that first tournament because I didn't know how people play, and there's like combinations of players that play, and how to understand what they're trying to say. Like it takes a long time to figure that stuff out.
Yeah, it's crucial to know how to piece players together. I've learned that from on a much lower level coaching in the divisional ranks of, certain players might be great individually, but it's about packages and who's going to play well together and how do certain styles complement one another. And like when you have a team, you have a bunch of players that will contribute in a certain way to a certain play. And as a coach, you need to know your players and know how they play and what situations they'll thrive in and when to use them, when not to use them. It takes time for sure. So, not being able to do that right away in the first event, I mean, that's understandable to a trained eye, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's just like I just didn't. It's just difficult that first event, especially because I only had the one practice too, because I didn't go to the first
Oh yeah,
practice. I think.
you were ripping
Yeah, it
it
was
up
in
in
Cabo.
Cabo.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Like Ryan's like, "Hey, do you want to come to this practice?" I'm like, "No." Like, yeah, I'm not canceling my
It was like the
vacation
night
plans.
before, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, no, not happening. And so yeah, so I mean, it just takes time, and especially the new guy. Like some of the guys don't have they have quieter voices, like the guys like Mikey and Blake and Arturo. Their input is just as good, but like their voice isn't as loud in the meetings, like because they don't have as much experience as those 20-year veteran kind of guys.
Hmm.
So that doesn't mean it's bad or good. It's just different. So you just have to figure that out for every person.
And speaking of Shane Pestana, you ran with Shane Pestana when you were younger too. Like you and Shane were pretty close, right? Like in your younger years.
I mean, I never played for him, but I mean, like the Ironman and Dynasty were always we played had a lot of practices and stuff, and
Yeah.
I've watched. He coaches a lot different than I do, like because he is a lot more motivational, and I'm more like X's and O's and like stuff like that. And but I also like it's just different, like so. I don't know. Different coaches work better for certain players, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, I think like the meat and potatoes of the way you guys coach is very different. X's and O's versus motivation, absolutely. But the commonality that I find that I feel at least as a player playing for both of you is the connection to you guys. Like I said a couple minutes ago, the connection to you as an individual, which a lot of coaches don't take the time to build relationships with their players, and sometimes by design they think that it's worse if they build relationships with their players. They want to have that, be a very fine line of not crossing business into like friendship and things of that nature, and maybe sometimes that works, but I feel like you are unafraid of crossing that line. You actually want that line to be crossed, and same with Shane. And I think that helps in the long run because again, you have players that care about you and want to go out there and fight for you.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, yeah, you could be. This isn't the NFL or the NBA where everyone's making that kind of money. Like it's not business. It's more
Right.
than that. So like if you want your players to trust you, you have to trust them. So that's the way I've kind of approached it. So like I was pretty like with Mikey in the beginning. Like I had like he came out and stayed at my house for a couple days and we had fun and did he calls me all the time now and is like, what do I need to do to be better and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. Like sometimes he's like he has so many questions that I don't know what to say. But like at least he knows uh, that I'm on his team. And even though like is he the newest? He's the newest guy on the team basically. So right? I don't know.
Hmm.
So like he needs the most help, I think, because he has the least amount of pro experience for sure. So yeah.
Yeah, and Mikey's really coming into his own, though. My goodness, he played phenomenal at World Cup. And really the last couple events, he's become
Yeah,
this whole
absolutely.
season, he's been a rock. He's been good.
Yeah, I saw a big change in him after the first event to that set to the Philly event. Like it was like night and day, like where he was at. So, and some of it's just playing time, like and the more important points, and then sometimes it's him just growing as a player. So yeah,
That Mikey, he's dedicated to the process. That's why he's doing so well. You can see the man is working hard. And when you work that hard and you care about the process the way that he does, you're going to get these types of things starting to happen. He's got one of the biggest hearts in paintball. Mikey truly loves this game so much. And he's out here in Arizona, so I get to hang out with him quite a bit and see him at the local fields. But he's a monster out there. He's doing really good.
Yeah, he works his butt off, and actually I remember that Orlando event, one of the big points against X Factor. On Sunday morning, we were up and he was stuck in that can. And I remember he was really upset with himself with how he got shot out of that can. And I remember him talking to me about playing the two and playing those roles in the backfield and how to do it. And like I know that it really concerned him how he died out of that spot because he's typically an attacker, And this year, I think that's what has helped his game so much is he's learned how to play a different pace, And that's always the thing with really
well,
aggressive players.
yeah, I agree. Like, because in the like, I think it was after that first event I started like playing people more all over the place, especially in that first practice because,
Hmm.
and he got so mad at me. He's like, I don't play here, and I was like, I don't care. That's not the point. The point is that you learn those other spots so you know how much easier or harder it is for where you're probably going to play at the event.
Hmm.
So like that's something I think younger players don't get. They're like, "Oh, I'm a snake one player. I don't ever play anywhere else." Well, sure, but like there's going to be events where you can't make it anywhere. Like or like
Hmm.
you can't be in there. Do you want to sit the whole event? I don't think so. So
Hmm.
better start learning right away. So
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, get out there and get uncomfortable. That's what I always tell players. Like, stop being so comfortable. Stop being so like tied into these roles. Go and just try things. Get experimentative and get out there and have some fun. Cause then you're really going to appreciate your position. When you do get to play like your coveted position or whatever you really enjoy doing, you're going to be like, oh man, this feels way better. But you're still learning so much about the game by playing those other positions as well.
especially on like individual field layouts like like you'll learn like that can that the Dorito side can that Blake played a lot of. Like I think I made Mikey play there a couple points in practice and he's like, this sucks, and I was like, yeah, I know it sucks. So figure it out. It's going to be easier for you to shoot that guy and things like that.
Hmm.
So but if you don't ever play that, you're just always in the snake. It's just you're not going to learn that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, Blake has really come into his own up the middle in this season in particular. Um, he's always been a Dorito player for as far as I can remember. Watching Blake, he's always the guy on the Doritos. And this season, he really harnessed that role of playing the middle and connecting the field. He is outsmarting people meticulously up the middle, and he's extremely well versed in patience and the ability to read seams, read holes, and just find opportunity. He's finding opportunity like nobody else in the business right now in that role, and you can see it in the last two tournaments that he's played.
yeah, I think that's a good example of like the players being able to trust you as a coach because I'll just let him like go do stuff. I'll be like,
Yeah.
and he messes up constantly at practices, but that's how you learn. You got to do it the wrong way first, and then you,
That's right.
especially all that middle stuff. If you're not like experimenting in that stuff, especially this field layout, you're not gonna know. Like it'll be like sometimes it's just really hard to shoot the guy, like or it's way more complicated than people think. And if you're always doing it one way, like if the field's just this much different at the event, you don't know what you're doing. So Blake's already made all the mistakes at practice, and then he capitalizes on that by not doing it again.
Hmm. That's right.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Definitely makes all the mistakes at practice.
Oh yeah, absolutely, all the time. Ryan will get so mad, and like, but Blake knows now that I don't care. Like, if other players get mad, it's fine. Like, I want him to learn those individual points, and I go from there.
That's good. That's good that you make all the mistakes at practice. That's where
Yeah,
you want to make the mistakes. You don't want to make them on Saturday, Sunday. That's not where you
exactly.
want to be making
Yes, yeah,
mistakes.
exactly.
I
And
feel
like
that.
I have things with like other front guys, like especially like where you go on the break. If you get shot on the break, that's on me, not on
Hmm.
you. Well, unless you're terrible, but like and fall out, fall over, whatever. But like all the off the break stuff is on me.
Hmm.
After that, then it's you. So I'm
Yeah.
never gonna sit him just because he got shot off the break. I'll move
Hmm.
him around, but I won't. That's not the player's fault usually.
Hmm. Yeah, and you still got to read the seams. You got to read paint. You got to make educated decisions on your
Of
routes
course.
and all those kinds of things. But yes, I mean, predominantly, once that horn blows, we have a game plan. The coach has to make sure we dial in that to the best of his ability, and then it's up to the players to execute and get shit done out there.
Exactly. Like I mean, but you have to practice all that stuff. So like, I move stuff around a lot, and then like people are going all over the place, and it makes it really hard for other teams to adjust to us, hopefully. So, uh, yeah. And then sometimes I'll just be like, what do you want to do, Marcelo? Where do you, how many times did I say that in the finals? I'm like, you just do it on the way there. Like,
I think by the time we got to the finals, it was
yeah.
almost every point you were like, what do you want to do over there?
Yeah,
There
it's
was,
like, do you want to go short? Do you want to go long? You want to go far? Like,
yeah,
it doesn't
yeah,
really matter. Like, it's as long as we're doing it differently, or
yeah.
we're taking advantage of what they're not doing is really what it is.
Hmm.
Totally. Yeah, X Factor got dialed in on the shots wide on the Dorito side in a portion of that match. I think they shot me like
Oh,
3
for
points in a
sure.
row on the break, and I was like, okay, hey Kev, we got to go short. Let me just dive
Yeah,
into this
yeah,
thing and
yeah,
be
yeah.
alive.
Yeah, and we lost some of our the white snake guys too, because we lost
Yeah,
Shorty and Mikey a couple times. Just
yeah.
so I pulled in, and then it worked out a little better. So
Hmm.
But we were very prepared for that, right? Because that was my biggest concern in practice was the wide runs.
yeah,
I had a feeling that was going to happen at the event, and honestly, it didn't happen the way I thought it was going to. I thought it would be more prevalent on Sunday, teams getting shot
yeah,
going wide.
yeah,
I mean, there were kills on the break for sure, but I mean, looking at that field and just doing drills, it looked like nobody should make it past the cake on the snake side or even into the tower on the Dorito side. Because there was a high
yeah.
percentage in drills and that's sometimes how events are. Maybe the paint bounces. Maybe I don't know. So something just happens. Players time the clock a little better than you, but it wasn't quite happening. But in the X Factor match, it definitely started to happen, and we were able to adjust really quick.
Yeah, because like in against like Damage and Infamous, like we shot those wide snake guys a ton, and
Yeah,
a
totally.
little bit on the Dorito side too. But like it was like we're like whether it was Blake or Yosh or Ryan, we were chopping those guys up, and then
Hmm.
it just stopped happening. Even though like Billy was going to the snake against us, and I was like we couldn't shoot him, and I was like, I was like, well, what happened?
Yeah, right. And then we were getting shot
Yeah,
instead.
exactly. So I was
And
like, wait,
against
wait.
Infamous, we weren't really.
Yeah, exactly. So, so you just have to change during the match, and luckily for that field, there was a good amount of points in the final, so you had opportunities to do that. Sometimes like that Infamous match, which it ended up being what 4-3 or whatever, so you
Yeah.
got a lot less opportunities to change things and mix things up.
Yeah, there were some high scoring games at that event, man. The field was turning out points pretty quickly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like some of them were like super fast. So,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, I think our X Factor, the first game we played X Factor, it was like 9-8, I think, or something like that.
yeah.
We played a crazy amount of points.
That was a fun game to watch, dude. It
Yeah, that was
was a
crazy.
fun game to watch. Rainy, dude, he's just such a villain out there.
Yeah, he
I
is.
like the villains though. I
Yeah.
appreciate the villains and the few people they get in their head. I enjoy
Yeah.
that.
I made Rainey just about poop his pants though when he thought I was gonna spear him, because we were overshooting each other, him and I, a little bit, And then he started chirping at me and coming at me, and I ran as quick as I could straight at him like I was going to spear him, and then just dipped to the side. But he said after the game, he was like, bro, I thought I was dead.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what moment you're talking about. That's a great way to do it without getting in trouble. You run at him like that, and then just last second, you're like, all right, peace. But he's like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what I was going to do for a second there. So it was definitely...
You made the right choice. You would have been, you know?
Oh, of course. No, I know I'm a professional, you know what I mean? So I'm always going to move professionally, but I'm also not going to let this character try to think that he's going to strong arm anybody out here. You know, like I'm gonna flex up too. We're gonna get this thing going.
I don't know if you guys saw that. I don't know what happened on some of the other fields. Did you guys see
God.
those? Like it looked like mayhem. Like, and I was
that's
like,
unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
I don't know what led up to that, or I honestly don't know any of the details. But I was like, oh my gosh,
dude, take it to like not at the tournament, man. Just please try to mitigate any of that kind of BS. We do not need that at all at any of our events.
Yeah, especially, you know, I don't have any details.
I don't either.
I don't know if it's punches that were thrown. I don't know what. I know someone sent me. I mean, in the video, there's like, it's like blurry behind a net and people are yelling and pushing each other. That's the only video I saw.
I see.
Like someone sent me a message on Instagram, like, you have to come out and speak on this. I'm like, dude, I don't know what happened, you know? And if it's just simply a fight in sports, like, of course we don't condone that. We don't want that. We don't need that. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I think the message said something about like, this can't be the culture of our game. It's like, it's not the culture of our sport. You know, it's an outlier. These things happen at all sporting events. They happen. Look at any sport. It happens. Any event, a concert, whatever it is, it happens. It's unfortunate and it shouldn't happen. And we don't want that to happen in our sport, but it's definitely not the culture of paintball of our game. I mean, our culture is amazing. People, for the most part, come together and enjoy this sport on all levels, you know? So I would like to get more details, you know. I hope
it looked scary. Like, I was like, scary. Oh my gosh.
Hopefully nobody was seriously injured or anything like that. Again, I don't know anything about it, but that looked pretty crazy for sure. Whole field. Was that on the 10-man field or what was it?
I don't know.
That? We don't know. Yeah, we don't know shit.
No
shit. If anybody knows, send us some more details.
Yes, please. And you know, we will continue to our heart goes out to anybody if, you know, I don't know what happened there, but just we got to make this the best we can. And like you were saying, Marcelo, that's like the 1%, that's an anomaly. 99% of the time that stuff is not happening.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Man, so Kev, what have you been up to, man? What have you been up to since we got back? Have you been enjoying this? Or have you celebrated yet?
Yeah, my nieces came over today for lunch and they like picked up all the trophies and like put the rings on and stuff. So that they were, that's all they wanted to see was the trophies. That's
so cool.
I was like, oh, this is great. So I mean, I didn't get back until like a little bit later in the afternoon on Monday. So so not that much yet, but I'm sure we'll do something this weekend or something. I don't know.
Yeah, cool, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. We got to go. We go back down to downtown, that little spot right there in the harbor.
Oh, we can do that. Oh,
that place is sweet.
That place is wonderful.
Yeah. And actually, we've been meaning to celebrate since Chicago, so now we could just double down.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Now it's time. It's off season, dude.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Cool. Yes, we'll have to make plans for that.
Yeah, you guys are neighbors.
Oh yeah, pretty close. Yeah, I mean, Ryan, Marcel, and I are the only ones that live in San Diego at this point, so it's kind of sucks because everyone's sort of spread out. But I mean, at the same time, I'm sure Mikey will show up at my house one of these days, and I mean Blake too, maybe. So we'll see.
Oh yeah,
we should get the team to go and do some kind of cool little trip.
We got like Cabo.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. I mean, we tried to get everybody together to go on a trip to Mexico last year. Like, it was planned, and then we just didn't follow through with it. It never happened.
We can just go. We don't really need to plan it. We just go.
Yeah, just go.
Cheap,
it's last minute.
Yeah,
it'd be sweet. I like Mexico. Mexico's fun.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Kev, coming in to let's kind of go back to, before we get to Cup, let's go to that first event. Let's kind of go through a little bit how it was coming in with not necessarily a new, well, yeah, it's a new group, new team. A lot of the players, but you didn't understand the team dynamic then.
Not at all. Yeah. No.
Yeah, not at all. Let's talk about the one practice that you had with us and what you felt like going into the event and what your approach was going into that event, your expectations and all of that and how it panned out.
I guess I didn't like, since I didn't know the players, it was really hard. Like, cause I just didn't know what to do with certain people. Like, how many, like, if I should like make the lineup super small or should include everyone. It's just like it was really hard, like with only the one weekend. So I didn't feel very good about it at all. And then like after the first, we lost to some teams we probably shouldn't have lost to.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think we went 2-2 right in the prelims.
Yeah.
But even the games we won, it was like not looking good. And then we played X Factor, and it just nothing really went our way at all that weekend. And so
I still
was
felt
like,
like we could have won that event though. Like we
I don't
lost
know,
to X
like,
Factor in overtime, and it was a close
yeah,
game, And I feel like if we beat them, I don't know, things start to click. And
maybe I just didn't feel good about, like, usually you can kind of tell, like, at least, maybe you get some unlucky stuff or anything like
Sure.
that, but it was just, I never felt like it was going the right direction at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then our the one thing our team is not good at is when things are going bad, they start like, we need to change everything, and that may not be the case. So
You're right with that. That's an important thing to realize too. And I think it's happened in the past couple events. It happened, I know, in the finals against X Factor at Cup. We were down 4-2, and and it happened in Chicago when we were down 4-0 against AC
against
Diesel.
the Energy team.
We didn't change anything.
Oh, I thought
it was AC Diesel.
Diesel or Energy?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Diesel.
Okay.
Diesel in the prelims.
Yeah.
And we're down 4-0, and we're like, well, we're not really changing much. Let's just play better.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just play better.
And the other guys are pretty good on the other side. I don't care what any of these. I've been really surprised that, like, some of the teams that, the lower ranking teams, like, have gotten a lot better than when I last coached. Like, they're not like just getting smoked 6-0 constantly. Like,
Right.
every one of those teams can put up a fight.
Totally.
I mean, and so. Yeah, any kind of misstep, like, you could be out, like, just like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Today more than ever, the league is deep right now, and they're gritty. Like, all these teams are gritty, and
Mm-hmm.
they wanna put points on the board. And like you said, you just got to be better. Like, at the end of the day, you just got to play really good. When you step on that field, you've just got to turn it on. I don't know what it takes to do or what you got to do, but and we're seeing that. We're seeing players turn it on, and they're having points, and they're connecting with their teammates, and the league is looking really good.
Yeah, I think it really does help a lot of the younger players too, that they get to watch, like, the video and stuff, and they get to
Mm-hmm.
watch the better teams' videos too, and that helps. And I think all the teams do a pretty good job of, like, playing, like, all these different teams. Like, we practiced Uprising, and they beat us up one of the days I practiced. Like, I was like, uh-oh. I think Marcelo had his worst day I've ever seen. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be bad. But at least he got it all out then, so it's fine.
I had like 8 days in a row of bad play.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Like, I was like, at one point I was like, Marcelo, do you just want to go somewhere else, like anywhere else on the field at all, so you could knock a shot off the break or whatever within 10 seconds? And he's like, shut up, I'll figure it out. And I was like yelling at me, and I was like, okay.
But that should give people that right there should give everyone out there hope, man. If you struggle at practice, if you struggle in the prelims, whatever, as long as you make it through those rounds and you guys get into the upper rounds, there's hope, man. Things just happen. This man right here, Marcelo, got the golden barrel, and he just said that he had 8 days
of
paintball prior to that Sunday that he didn't feel like, but on that Sunday, when it matters, you flip the switch or whatever it takes and you get it done. And that's all there is to it. And Now you got the accolades, you got the barrel, you got the chips, you got all of it. You know what I mean? And it's just about staying diligent to the process, working hard, and doing what you know you have to do.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I was like, I think was that on Sunday against Uprising? I can't remember. It was like we
It
lost
was
like
both days.
eight or
It
nine
was
points,
both
but we
days.
lost like 8 or 9 points in a row. Like, and I was like, oh, wow. But you know, it's okay. Like, I mean, we learned how the things to do wrong very well that day.
Yeah. It was a struggle. It was a
Yeah,
struggle. And then we go up and we play Impact, and that
yeah.
was a struggle.
Oh, big time, big
And
time.
then Sunday struggle like all day, and then one of the last points Dalton gets hurt. I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh
it
my
was
God.
terrible. I was just like, God, this is bad, and now it just got 10 times worse.
I was like, Kevin,
And
let's
What happened to Dalton?
dude.
so I was like, I was watching from like the Dorito side, and I'm like looking, and I'm like, Dalton wasn't supposed to go there. What is he doing? He didn't listen to me at all. So I was like mad. And then
I was
I
pissed.
Marcelo was in with him, like, because, and I think he didn't. He realized earlier than I did that Dalton was hurt, but I was like, what is going on? Like, so like I was very confused about like what the heck what happened, but I
So
guess he tore his calf or something, or I'm
yeah.
not
Oh
sure
my
exactly.
Yeah.
God.
So I was pissed because it was just one of those days again, and I had like every day in a row like this. I think on Sunday against Uprising, I had a few good points, but other than
Okay.
that, like it was really subpar. Saturday, not great. I was just, I mean, I just couldn't stay alive for more than 20 seconds. I was like trying to do stuff, just nothing was working. And then Sunday against Impact, so a week later. And keep in mind, I went to the field during the week. I did drills. My shot, my fundamentals, everything was on point. Like felt crispier than I felt in a long time. My body felt better than it's felt in a long time. My knee, everything. I've been working my butt off. Feels amazing, but I wasn't playing well. And I'm like, what the fuck? How is this happening like this? You know, like I've been working so hard. Everything feels so good, and like my mind's just not producing. And so Sunday, it was like everything that could go wrong was going wrong. And multiple times, like one time I was sharing we had this play where we are going to that first can on the Dorito side, 2 guns, and then Blake was supposed to release somewhere, but he doesn't release anywhere. So now we're like both in there and he pushes me out and I get shot. And it was like after a buildup, I'm like, dude, so I'm mad at Blake because he got me shot. But really, I could have avoided getting shot still. I was just pissed because nothing else was going right. So, things were just adding up like that. And then this play, I was supposed to stand in the blind zone, shoot the Dorito side, and Dalton was supposed to go to Dorito 1. I see like we break out and he dives into the tower on the Dorito side. And I'm like, this motherfucker, God
Yeah,
damn it,
yeah,
So I
totally
shoot and I
wrong
go in
thing.
there with
Yeah.
him, but I see he's like holding his leg and I'm like, oh God. Oh no. I'm like, hey, Dalt, are you okay? So like I stop playing. I'm right behind him. I'm like, Dalt, you okay? And he's like kind of crying. He like hits the ground and I could tell he's not crying from pain. He's because he knows what that means. He knew immediately that he's not going to be playing World Cup. And I've been there. I've gone through that multiple times, literally a week before World Cup, 2 years in a row, 2010 and 2011. So it just connected right away. I was like, oh my God, are you okay? I just completely stopped playing. And, we sat there for a second and then he picked his gun up and he started shooting and was like holding the Dorito lane. I'm like, oh, maybe he's okay. So I started shooting again. And then I don't really remember what happened the rest of the point, but it ended. And like, I tried to help him up and he couldn't really get up. And, yeah, he definitely knew it was something serious. I mean, Dalton's a really tough kid. He's incredibly tough. And so for him to have limped off the way he did, like we knew it was something serious. And, a week before World Cup, there's no time to heal. There's no time for even a minor injury to heal up by
Yeah.
then. So it was like, oh, great. We've already had bad practices and we lose. I mean, to me, Dalton's one of the best players in the world. He's phenomenal.
And I mean, he played so well in Chicago. Like he was
Yeah.
playing like a hard spot. Like
Yeah.
they gave Alex MVP, but he only played half the points.
Right.
Like literally, he only played half of them, and then
Yeah.
Dalton played like almost every single one.
Yeah.
So I was like, and that Dorito side was tough in Chicago. So like, I was just like, oh my gosh, like so.
Absolutely.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Dalt, if you're listening, I love you, dude. Heal up quick.
He's 1,000% listening because he listens to every single thing there is all the time.
He does.
He was like, he was sending me videos of him watching the games, he's like, hey, this guy when he's on the left hand, she's left-handed. He's going to this Dorito and like everything. Like he's
Yeah.
on it. But I was like, I got it. But thank you.
Dalton was an amazing help to me personally at World Cup.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was quietly doing it with all the players, but for me specifically, he would send me multiple videos of every team we're about to play, of like certain players and what their tendencies were and who I needed to check off and like things I needed to do. And it was just so reassuring and so such a great well of information that he fed me with throughout the day, especially on Sunday, before every match. Because I'm at the field, I can't go back and watch the games while you're at the field. You can't even rewind on Go Sports anymore until the day's over, right? So to get this feedback from him in real time was, I mean, it was priceless. I mean, it absolutely helped. And so Dalton was still a huge part of that win. He was there with us, and man, Dalton, love you, man. Cannot wait for you to get healthy and
Yeah.
come back so we can, defend this next year.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's actually moving to Arizona here in the next few months, so
Yeah.
I'll be seeing him out here soon.
That's right. Yeah, he's gonna be like what, an hour from you?
Yeah. And his two boys and my two boys are like best friends, so they're super excited to all be hanging out soon here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The squad.
Yeah. The squad, dude. Damn, that's pretty sweet. You guys have a little team right there.
Yeah, we got
you
got
got
a
a
nice
3-man
little
team with an alternate, or a 5-man team. You could pick up maybe Alex Frazi's daughter.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
Little 5-man
Yeah.
squad.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for Dalton to get out there as well. I know he's excited to move to Arizona. They bought a beautiful home. It's just taken a really long time to build. I guess it got pushed back from like January to April now. So waiting for that to be done. But once
Yeah.
it's done, yeah, that'll be nice for him.
Yeah, and then he's only, I think, 3.5 or 4 hours away from even San Diego. It's not too far
Nice.
to get out there.
Nice. You're supposed to be coming out here, Ty. We're gonna make a little off-season trip. Yeah, we got some business to do.
PTG meeting. We got to we got to dial in, bro.
All right.
Yeah, there we go. Maybe we'll meet up with Kev and have a beer.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so Kev, let's go back into we were talking about the Orlando event. Didn't go well. How'd you feel when we left that event? Did you have confidence in the team that the team could turn things around, or were you over it?
I was like, oh man, our guys are terrible. We're not, like, this is gonna be a long year. Like we couldn't get like yeah, it was terrible. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like, but there was like, yeah, it was just bad. Like
did you? Because when did you retire from coaching? Was it 2014? Was that the last year you coached?
I have no idea. Like honestly,
okay,
I'm not.
So, did you keep
years
roughly? But so like, did you keep up with paintball between then and now, or were you completely gone?
Not really. I mean, like, well, I did coach in Europe for like 2 years with the Russian teams, like the Polar Bears, and then I coached the one other team, Amelia, for like 2 events, and then they ran out of money or whatever. But like, so yeah, I liked those ones because there was no practices, so I would just show up to the event. We'd have 2-hour practice and be like, "Here we go." So it was great. I love that. So, but yeah.
So you didn't know? Yes, you didn't know like what you had until the event, and we stunk. So after Orlando, you're like, these guys are terrible.
Oh, yeah, I was like, oh, geez. I was like, we have some issues. So
Jesus.
Yeah. And like anytime you lose, like everyone, is way too critical. And we literally lost in the overtime point. It's not like we got destroyed or anything, but it was still like, oh, everything's wrong, like everything's that. I'm like, and then I realized like I need to just let myself do what I want to do more and not listen to these guys like as much, because I needed more input that first event especially, and I just didn't get it the what I wanted, and I didn't know how to read that information from each player because it's a little different from every guy. Because so like from Blake and Mikey, I've learned a lot the whole year, just like how to take their info and even yours. So yeah. So
what do you mean by that? Can you elaborate a little bit on
well,
exactly
it's
what you
just
mean?
like when you talk to people individually about it, and when there's not the whole team around, that's really important, because you'd be like, well, which one do you feel good at? Like, it doesn't matter if like let's say I want to go to the corner a bunch and Mikey doesn't like the corner, he's not going to play as well. So like you have to find like a balance of doing your plays, what the player likes, what's good for the team, all these things, and it's hard to figure that out like right away with a team. Like, I mean, I don't know how many NBA coaches or NFL coaches are like awesome the very first year. I don't think that happens. I mean, it's pretty rare. So
Hmm.
I think it takes about a year to figure it out.
Well, not for you. I mean, you just secured the bag big time this year, 2021, first year back in it, and you guys took it all, you know? So what helped you to accomplish that? Like what hurdles did you have to overcome in order to accomplish those goals?
I think I just really focused on some of the players I didn't know as well, and learned what they think a lot more. And then I also learned that, like, I mean, we don't really have long meetings, like, at all. Like, did we at World Cup? We had like 25-minute meetings before each match, and that's about
Hmm.
it. Like, we didn't spend hours and hours because, like, sometimes people lose focus and then they don't. It should be like very simple, and that's what we're gonna do, and that's it.
I can't lie, you've turned my world upside down
Yes.
because and it's been your process has been really frustrating to me in
Yeah.
practice. Where the
Yes.
first weekend you don't really give us much direction, you kind of let us do what we
Nope.
want. And I'm like, can you fucking do your job over here? But you are doing your job just
I
in a
am. It's
different
just
way.
different. It's a different
Like,
way that you're not used to. Yes. And
totally.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
like Mikey's playing the front Dorito, and you're like, what is going on? And like, yeah, and
Yeah.
Blake's getting shot all the time in the middle, and you're like, what's happening? But literally, it's just then I learned too, like which pairings work better, which spots might be better, like especially for like the middle inside guys. Like you just move around to all those spots. Like Ryan played all over at this event. So did Arturo.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
literally played like. I remember I was like one of I don't know, some guy was asking me like how I was doing stuff, and I was like, well, Arturo, tell him where you played today. And he literally named like 10 different spots on one match, and I was like, see, it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, they're good paintball players are good paintball players. So you don't need to be just have one job, you know.
So in your opinion, what does matter? What is the most important component of winning paintball matches and winning tournaments?
I think it's information, like knowing what to do where, and knowing where the other guys are, and knowing how to take advantage of that. And you do that by playing all the spots. If you just do the same play
Mm.
25 times in a row, like what are you doing? Like you're not learning anything new. Yeah, maybe that play works good, but like it probably doesn't.
That kind
Mm-hmm.
of hurt Impact. I felt like they looked really good with a very base play, right? They wouldn't go past the tall cake on the snake side. They would maybe take a bite on the Dorito side, but they had a pretty solid, consistent play that they destroyed people with through the prelims, right? And then come Sunday, they see X Factor and it just wasn't working for them, and they didn't have much else to go to.
Yeah, I mean it's yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that's just they're both good teams, really. Like, and it's just certain fields
Sure.
are a little better for
Sure.
other teams. I don't know, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, X Factor's obviously played a lot better these last two events than they had. Or actually, I mean, they played pretty well the whole year too. So,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know what they ended up being ranked overall, but I mean,
It
you
was
make the
fifth.
finals twice, fifth. They got fifth. Okay,
Yeah.
but I
Damn,
mean,
really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because did they not make Sunday in Philly?
I believe that is correct.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think so
that's right.
too.
Yeah.
So they just had one bad event, and that, yeah. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Yeah, they have been, and I'm really curious to see if Kid Arch is going to be back for 2022. I know that's been a rumor in the rumor mills, so um, I'm I'm curious to see what 2022 looks like. It's going to be a fun year of paintball.
yeah, I mean, I thought it was super interesting too. Like the AC Dallas getting relegated and the Outlaws selling a spot. Like I was
Yeah,
like, that's like fun. So I mean, like I don't know, like
yeah.
I was like, oh, so and then I
Well,
guess
word on the
the
street,
hurt.
maybe a Latin American team is going to make a jump up
No,
into
no, no.
pro.
He that
They
happened.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. I saw it happen. I was like
Oh,
there.
beautiful.
Yeah, and I
Nice.
was like Tom Cole, the Jeremy, and Diego, and some other guys were there, and I was like, oh, this is really happening because I know who you are, and I know exactly what's happening right now. So yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be some of the Dead Legion guys, and then I don't know who else. I mean, I don't know really
Hmm.
how they're going to structure that, but
Yeah.
Brandon coached them this event. That's why he missed a couple of our matches. Is because he was coaching them.
Hold
But
on. Brandon Short was coaching them while he was playing for you guys.
yeah, yeah. So
Dude, the only
he
reason he played for us is because he already had a
because he's
ticket to the
already
World Cup
there.
to
Yeah,
coach a
yeah,
team.
exactly. Like, and then I was like, what happened? He's like, oh, we got knocked out. I was like, oh, okay, good, good. so, so I knew
Yeah.
because if he made Sunday, he might not have played on Sunday, and he played in the finals. He was like
Yeah.
literally a week ago. He wasn't even going to be on our team. So
Damn, that's crazy.
He came to
yeah,
one day of practice for fun. Weekend one, he
yeah,
came to the Saturday
yeah,
practice right before Halloween,
yeah.
just because we needed a body because Dalton couldn't make that practice. Our team was in shambles before this event, dude.
Oh
Like,
yeah, and then Alex went to 1 day or 1.5 days
and
of
then flew to
practice.
Cabo.
Yeah. And then we had a wedding or something. No, was that
Yeah,
the?
in Cabo, but it was
No,
the next weekend.
he flew home for Halloween with his kids.
Correct. And then the
So
next weekend, he wasn't at practice because he went to Cabo.
yeah, exactly. So
Ugh.
yeah,
Jeez. Everything that like shouldn't be okay in a professional art, we did all of it. And maybe that's
every
why we
single
won, I
thing.
think.
Yeah, everything.
It's crazy.
So
That's very
yeah,
interesting. It's really
It,
yeah,
interesting stuff.
yeah,
it is. It is
Well,
totally. Yeah.
because this game this game is different than most sports. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't even know how to put it into words, but it's like you said, Kevin. It's a information based game, and as long as you have five, not four, not three,
yeah,
five individuals who are actively compressing information and materializing it on the field there, then you're gonna be able to do pretty damn well out there. But it's a really crazy game, and when you guys have all been together for a long time, so the chemistry. Even you as a coach, Kevin, this is your first season, but you've known, like you said, you've known these guys for 2 decades, so you're
Mhm.
able to really understand what's going on and have a lot of information, and that's how you get things done. With the correct information and the correct moves.
yeah. I mean, but it's also like, yes, it is an advantage that I've known some of them for so long, but it's also a disadvantage because like
Yeah.
they're like my friends. Like I don't want to like Marcel was talking about being a business, but it's not. So
Mhm.
it's very complex. Like in the finals in Chicago, like I didn't play Yost at all. So and I was like that inside that hurt me a little bit because I want him to do well and I want him, but he just was having a tough time and other Blake and everybody else is playing a little better. So
Mhm.
it's like I don't want to sit him. And then but it also made this event so much better because then I was like Yost is Yost is playing, he's playing well. I was like, and then it's just so much. I guess it's more rewarding that when that happens.
Yeah.
Like it's awesome. So
Yeah, Yosh did. Yosh played phenomenal, and him and him and Rainey were going at it in the finals there at the very end. That was crazy.
yeah,
That was nuts. I was walking off right there. I was like, is Rainey really running and shooting at this guy like this? Like when
Bro,
he's
yeah,
that far off the field, it's pretty nuts.
I
Pretty
know,
nuts.
but he knew he had lost already, and that
Yeah,
was
100%.
all he could do.
He lost his mind.
Yeah.
It's funny, we were talking about Rainey. Yeah, because that happened, and then there was like a 6 second point, and we're like, yeah, and same thing, Ty. Right afterwards, I like ran straight up to Rainey, thinking that there was going to be like something after it,
Uh-huh.
but he let his guard down. I let my guard down. We hugged it out, and I was like,
Yeah.
I can respect it, man. I do respect Rainey a ton on the paintball field. Well, off as well, but on the paintball field, what he does and what he brings to his organizations, that fire.
Yep.
I respect it. So I understand what he's about. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
for
And so I was able
sure.
to give him a hug. And I was
100%.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's an entertaining game right there, right?
And
Like before
yeah.
before the game even happened, when we did the national anthem and we all shook hands, like, let's have an entertaining game. Let's make this entertaining. We said that to each other,
Yeah.
and I think that definitely happened. I think the fans got a super entertaining game.
100%. And even after the game where we were going at it, after the game, we hugged and smiled and we're laughing about it. And he was like, dude, I thought you were going to get me.
He ran into the pit and told his guys, hey, you guys have to protect me. You know this, right? You guys got to watch my back.
But you're right. He's such a special character in the, the fabric of paintball. And we're so blessed to have Rainey in the sport.
100%.
Yeah.
And, it's good to see him playing, too. Him not really playing in the finals of Chicago. It's sad, especially injuries holding a player of that caliber back. You don't want that. So I'm really glad, as a competitor, that in the finals at World Cup, we had a fully, I guess I can't say fully healthy because I don't think he was at 100% still, although he was looking 100%. He was still playing lights out. But it's a shame when you have top level players, any level player, but when you have players that can't suit up, can't play, can't get out there and perform because of injuries, it sucks.
Yeah, totally, man. So I want to dive back into Chicago a little bit and then talk about World Cup and all that went into that huge win that you guys just got. So out in Chicago, we kind of were talking about it, but how did you guys materialize that win out there? What was the magic on that one?
Well, Chicago was a lot different than World Cup because Chicago on the Sunday before we were playing Impact, like it was everything was working. It was the opposite of this World Cup event. I was we won 8 or 9 points in a row. We had would lose a point, but it was something stupid happened. And I was just oh, we're good. It's finally working. It's great. And so right then, and then I was because in Philly we got Marcelo was hurting, Dalton got hurt, Alex got hurt. I was fuck this, I cannot get anyone hurt. So Sunday afternoon, I called practice early. I was we're done. And Impact was mad at us because they just beat up that day. And I was just I don't need to change anything. Everyone's confidence is good. Everything's going good. There's no reason for me to play any more points. So I was I'm done. And I felt really good about Chicago the whole time. So I was not concerned at all.
Real quick, and I'm so sorry, Ty, but I would like to kind of talk a little bit about Philly because I thought that was a pretty big event for our team as well. Because we had, obviously, Tyler had just gone to Heat. You can't replace a player like Tyler. We had injuries. We had Arturo was hurt. Dalton ended up getting hurt. We were really shorthanded, and we still kind of gritted out a third place finish. But I curious as to, Kevin, how your impression of the team evolved or changed.
I mean, it changed a little bit because that event, Blake and Mikey started playing much better in particular, especially Mikey. He was playing really well. And I mean, Arturo's hand was broken, and then he went in and played the Doritos in the finals. He hadn't played any points at all.
It's because Alex got hurt too,
and Dalton. So it was I was and I knew you were hurting too. I could tell. And I was just but Blakey and Mike played great. So I was okay, I know these other guys are good too, but if we can get this all together, I knew it was going to go somewhere. And I mean, we lost to Heat that day, but it wasn't it was just we were worn down. It wasn't we were a bad team. It was just we were beat up and worn down, and they took advantage of that. So, but I felt we were much closer after that first event. I was oh,
a little better.
And then Philly, I was all right, okay, fine, okay, we're on the right track, going the right direction. So
I don't think anything was going to stop Heat from winning that event in Philly. Gotta say, Tyler showing up on the team, bringing that energy, Fedorov coming back. Maybe if we were healthy, I'd like to think as competitors we could have and would have, but they showed up with a goal in mind, and they weren't really letting anything stop them. You could see it in the play.
Yeah, we were definitely on a mission, and we have been all year. It's just, man, even at Cup, man, I feel like we should have been in the finals with you guys. There was just some shit that didn't go our way that, I wish had, but it didn't. And man, I would have loved to stepped on that field and played you guys in the finals.
It would have been the best rematch for all the fans. That's for sure. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Everybody in the world wanted that match,
dude.
Everybody wanted that match.
I wanted it so bad.
Everybody wanted that match, dude.
Yeah, and even we went down a point and we had 26 seconds or something, and then we almost, there was still, even on that whole thing, like the time was something, I don't know, there was some crazy stuff going on.
Really?
It said there was like a
Yeah.
second or 2 seconds, but then there wasn't.
It was
Oh.
certainly really close. Like I
That's-
don't know, like
That's
Yeah.
right, because I was watching. I was watching that last point because our match, we were playing in the same block, and our match finished before yours.
Yeah.
So I was watching from like where the coaches watch from the side,
Mhm.
and when Fedorov went, the actual like the score clock definitely had like 2 or 3 seconds, but the game clock, the buzzer
Mhm.
sounded before he hit the buzzer.
I know,
Right?
which is
So it was
weird
like,
because
it,
that's
like, didn't
how
match up.
that's how we tell when to make moves or when to do things. So
Totally.
that thing
It
should
is.
definitely be dialed in.
It should be.
it should. Yeah.
It 100% should be. I have heard them say before though that the 100% correct clock is like at the scorer's table,
Uh-huh.
and
You know
I'm
what
like,
I
but
would
that's
love to see?
bullshit. That's
I would
crazy.
love to see not the buzzer, but if you hit the bubble, the air, the bunker thing in the back,
The button, right?
not the button, just hit the bubble. If you
Yeah.
just hit the bunker,
Okay.
because
Yeah. The
trying
start
to,
gate. Yeah.
trying to hit the start gate, trying to find that buzzer sometimes
Yeah.
is like a nightmare. So
It's kind of
yeah.
cool though. Like that's the only way to make it like a definitive thing,
well, no, you run the film back, and if you hit the bubble, then then
Sure.
it's good.
Sure. Yeah. That's fair.
Because the whole buzzer thing is just kind of crazy to me.
But
It's
the
like,
buzzer's like the
'cause-
only way to
and
register to the.
let me just put my piece here, dude. Because like you got the job done, right? You got the job done. You shot everybody, and you made it to the bubble. Now you did it. Congratulations. You know what I mean? Like like you got the job done. So I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, it sucks sometimes when you see like
People trying to bang
hitting
on the
it and they
bag.
miss
Or
it. Yeah.
the guys that knock it over, and then the buzzer is like on the ground, and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
that whatever.
Yeah.
So
Because you got the job done, you did it. You got there. It's just like, dang it, didn't hit
Yeah.
that little red button.
That would have been a hell of a World Cup final, man.
I know,
Man,
but
for the
dude,
people, for the culture.
I'm just so humbled and gracious with paintball in general, and I'm so happy for you guys. To be honest, like, you guys killed it out there.
Ty, do you mind me asking? Because again, I heard a ton of people on the internet. I think even people in our Discord, they were like pissed off about, and I think maybe on the webcast too, but they're mad that I think Chad got pulled on like a broken ball in his pod. Did something
Yep.
like that happen?
Yeah, that did happen.
Did the refs admit it, or was it?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't put too much energy into that kind of stuff.
yeah, I mean, I would
Sucks.
agree with Tyler
Sucks,
on stuff like this. Like when
Yeah.
if the game is that close, you messed up other things on the point. Yes, the
Yeah.
refs are not perfect, but it
Mhm.
usually ends up being pretty much even.
Yeah,
It's just
absolutely.
like, it's like when people are like, "Oh, well, you should have made that last 3-point shot." I'm like, "Well, he missed 4 other ones in the game." So like that's why I
Yeah.
don't understand why people get stressed out about just that last little thing. Like it's like
Yeah.
there's other things in the match that happened that you could have done
Mhm.
better.
Totally. Yep. I like to always play above any reffing, play above any circumstances. Like, you got to get it done, and you got to get it done convincingly. You ain't got no second chances,
Yeah.
and if you got to hit that little button on the back of the bunker, you ain't got no second chance on that too. You better hit that little button, you know what I mean? Because that's the rules and that's the way it is. So you just take it as it comes. And like I said, I'm super humbled and gracious and just so grateful to be able to play this game, to be able to play at the highest level and have such a competitive league that we're all a part of. And that's really what's most important.
Well, Ty, I mean, that's why you are who you are. You own whatever it might be, and instead of pointing outward, you point inward and you fix things, and that's why you've gotten to where you have. And a lot of players, a lot of teams, they just will sit there and blame things that might not be in their control, and they don't take responsibility for why they are not getting what they want to get.
Yeah, you got to earn it, man. And if it's meant to be, it'll be, because you put in the hard work and you earned it, and there will be no questions. There'll be no questions about it. You just get it done.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry guys, where were we with the Philly thing? Yeah, we got third place.
Mm-hmm.
He won, so you felt better about that, Kev. Did
Yeah.
your strategy with practice change, or were you kind
Yes.
of set?
Yes.
Okay.
It did after that because after like the first event, no one really. Oh, I guess Ryan was hurt, but like, so by the third event, I was like, everyone's going to be hurt, so I might as well just have everyone play everywhere. And so that practice, it certainly changed, and that's probably when you got mad at me because you're like, what? I just let people go out there and figure it out
Yeah.
especially the first day. Like I'm just like, here's the lines. Okay, cool.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Good
that's
luck out
basically
there.
what I do. And I'm like, and people are like, wait, you're not going to tell them what to do? And I'm like, no, like they can figure it out on their own. And when they have these fantastic game plan ideas that are terrible, they already tried it. So, like it's fine. So, and that's how you learn the different spots and how, how that their spot feels against, a spot you might play later. Like, and you learn a whole field instead of this quadrant of the field, which is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
It's so advantageous to see all aspects because then the shots that you're receiving and taking, not
yes,
just one dimensional,
exactly.
from both perspectives of what's happening, and it gives you an overall way better feel on how to play.
Yeah, and it helps you like understand your teammates when like your teammate plays on this terrible spot
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh, because like
Mm-hmm.
Mishka played that same Dorito can that Blake did, and he's probably like, this sucks in here, and you're like, if you never played it, you're like, it's not that bad. Like, look at that snake shot is easy. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? And
Yeah.
so yeah, it just helps. Do you understand your teammates and what they need help with too
Mm-hmm.
during a match? So
Yeah, and the flow too, because every field has a
yes.
different flow to it. The snake side, the way that a pressure is applied on that side, the way that pressure is applied on the Dorito side. And when you actually get into those situations, you really start to understand the way the pressure of a field is going to play out and
Mm.
how you can play with that pressure. Because that's really what this game is all about is pressure, angles, information, and timing, of course, knowing when to time things and how to time it properly. But once you put all those things together and you have 5 people that are doing that, then you're going to start winning championships. That's when you win.
Yeah, pressure's a big one. Teams do that by either attacking or shooting a lot of paint, but pressure is so big. That's like, to me, one of the biggest things I preach when I'm coaching teams, because I've noticed that even in the pro ranks, when you play the less experienced teams, you don't feel pressure, and that's when you allow other players to figure things out and make moves and make things happen. But when you're just bombing and pounding and doing it together, it takes all 5 of doing multiple, being active in their spots. It's powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Very powerful.
It's completely game changing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, Kev, Chicago.
Well, like I said, like that impact practice, the last day of that practice, when I like really actually I did what you wanted me to do more, and had these plays already set up, like which is how it happens in my each event evolution. It happens. I let people go everywhere. Then I watch too, because that's the thing that other people don't realize is I'm watching the field, like, and seeing where things happen and where things open up and things like that. And if you're always concerned about the game plans, sometimes you miss that.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and you watch the other team too. Like I'm not concerned about just our team. I watch the other team and be like, oh, that's working, or oh, look at that. Like there's all kinds of different things you can learn by just watching. Like, and I mean, although the webcast is great and all, you don't see it as well as being there. You just don't. It's just we don't have enough
Totally.
cameras that's possible. So
Yeah.
it's not like other sports where there's one ball. So that's the biggest difference. There's 10.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're kicking it old school. He's at you're there
Yeah,
watching games.
yeah, that's how I do it. And yeah, I know which teams work hard and which ones don't because I see. I'm there the whole time. Like I literally am there all day. It sucks.
That's very
You literally
interesting.
watch every single game.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So when
100%.
you like, I would go back to the room and Marcel was like, "Do you want to watch that match again?" I'm like, "Nope, I already did."
But actually, I prefer that because I hate watching the games with other people. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a personal issue or ADD. I don't know what it is. But when we watch games together as a team, I do not absorb the information as well. When I have my headphones on and I'm watching on my iPad and it's just me and the screen, I absorb the information a million times better. So like when we watch as a team, or even Mikey, he'll always be like, hey, can we watch games together? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, of course we can, because I know he wants to talk about it and stuff, but I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, like I'm not going to learn as much by sitting here watching it with you, and I don't know why that is, but it's just, I
I mean,
love,
it's just different ways people absorb information. Some people
yeah,
are audio, sometimes people are video, sometimes it's a combination of both. There's all different kinds people can learn by. Some people like Yosh, for example, likes me to show him the whole play, like all
me
the time,
too.
and
Yeah.
I'm like, well, it changes every time. Like so,
I
and
know. I kept bugging you too at the last event. I'm like, okay, Kev, that's great that's where I'm going, but what's the whole play? I need to
yeah,
know what,
exactly.
what, what
Yeah.
other zones are
So
covered, what's going
yeah,
on.
I mean, and it's like I only have limited time to tell everyone everything.
Right.
So it's like now I like grab you guys, like, and I'm like, so you
Yeah.
know that you heard.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think you've realized there's a difference than the Philly event because I realized that people were not listening or they just weren't absorbing correctly.
Totally.
So, yeah,
That's also on the players too, though, right? Because you're right. You're
yes,
working with a limited amount of time in the pit. So if
right,
you tell everyone where they're supposed to go, when we're walking out to the field, it's like, hey, Ryan, where are you going? What are you doing?
exactly.
We can
Yeah,
figure it out there when we're on our
yeah,
way, on our
yeah,
way to
Mhm.
the gate or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah, coaching is a difficult gig, man. It is not
It's an art.
easy. It is.
yeah, yeah. No,
Yes.
it's a lot harder than people think it is. Like, it's not. It's just, yeah. It's taken me a long time to figure it out, and I've coached a few teams and a lot of different players, and that's helped me learn how to do it. Better than I did in the beginning. Like, and I
Mhm.
also coached like really good teams and then teams that we had to develop the talent too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, knowing a little bit of all that and being a player, like when I was one of the better guys on the teams to when I wasn't as good on the team. So knowing
Mhm.
how those players feel too, like you need to know like all of those things.
Yeah.
So,
So talk to me about Chicago and how special that one was for you, watching Eggman get that golden barrel and all the accomplishments that he was able to get out there.
oh yeah, it was just cool. It's just like one of those things. It's just like the Yosh for the World Cup. Like it was just like
Mhm.
he didn't really play a whole lot in Philly, and then he just like it wasn't even like during the practices he played that well. It was just like something clicked in him like come Sunday, and he was just started shooting all these people for no particular reason. Like it wasn't like it was just he was shooting people out of their spots in the middle of the game, and it was like oh this is awesome. This makes my job so much easier.
Yeah.
So much easier. I'm just like, oh, sweet. And then yeah, and then I mean literally he played half the games when Mikey played the other half. So I think that was
Mhm.
helpful for us in particular because other teams like your team and X Factor had one guy and it ran it all the time and by the end of the match, I don't care how good shape you're in, you're just not as sharp as the guy that, gets a little time off. I mean, there's a
Mhm.
balance in there somewhere. And the other thing that I think that when you play all those in a row that people overlook is that person can talk to the coach during the time that the other player is playing and
Yeah.
give you some information, which sometimes I think gets overlooked.
Mhm. Yeah, like you said, information is everything. That's the
Yeah.
cornerstone of success right
Yes.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a valuable little tidbit there of a reason for a coach to have a player off is to gather information. Because you're right,
Yeah.
you don't always have the
Yeah.
time to do that.
It's not even just a breather. It's just for that player to have a little time to think about like what he can do better too, or what he did well, and maybe I could do that again, or faster, or slower, or something. Like if you're just
Mhm.
like grinding out points constantly, you're not like giving yourself enough time to think about it.
Hmm.
I personally know for a fact, and it's been proven true and true over and over. I play worse when I take a break. When I'm playing points back to back, even if I'm kind of tired, that's usually when I play the best because I'm thinking less. And it's
Yeah.
I'm in that moment reacting and just like kind of all the thinking has been done for me personally. I know
Right.
other players are different, but for me personally, um, I get into that flow state a lot easier, to where it's just I'm able to just react and do my thing rather than overthink and overcomplicate stuff.
For sure. Yeah. Like sometimes people are so worried about what everyone else is doing or what the other team is doing, or like, oh, like this paint is bouncing or this paint is super brittle. Like they worry too much about those things and not what they're doing themselves. And
Mhm.
it's like yeah, it's totally, you're right. You can overthink anything, but yeah, but that's what the repetition of practice and stuff like that's supposed to do, is supposed to make it so you don't have to think about each move and each spot and stuff, or where it, what, that's what practice is really for.
Hmm.
Yeah, totally. Um, so I forgot, in Chicago, you got coach of the event, that one too, right? That's the plaque you got that
I
Jason
got,
gave you
yeah.
finally at World Cup.
Well, no. I think they said it at the event. I just didn't think there was like a plaque for it. I was
Oh,
like, I was like, they don't ever care about the coaches. Like, I was like, why would they
no,
give
we
the?
do now. We care about the
I
coaches
guess,
now.
I guess,
Yeah,
I don't know. They never
the
used
coaches get all
to.
sorts of
So
cool shit.
yeah, so I was like, oh, maybe it's because Jason was a coach, so that's why. Like,
Oh,
maybe that's why he's like, well, they need a trophy too. So,
maybe. Yeah.
which I,
They
I
should too.
appreciate. I appreciate.
Makes sense. They should definitely get trophies. Dude, coaches are so important. I had Maddie came over to do an interview for the Five Sundays thing right before World Cup, and we were talking about coaching. I was like,
Oh,
if you
he
don't,
actually interviewed you because he like texted me like 4 times, and I was like, yeah, whatever this week, and no, he didn't come over at all.
oh,
So I don't know. I thought it was just like maybe I was low on the list. I don't know. So
yeah, no, he came over. He came over. We did the damn thing for a couple hours right before we left for, was it Sacramento? I think it was right before that practice.
yeah, I think so.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but something that I mentioned there is that, if you don't understand how important a coach is to an organization, then you've probably never won. And
Yeah,
that couldn't be
or
more
you were
true.
just had a simple layout. Like that's the
And got
only other
super
way it can
lucky.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah, but a coach isn't even just for the game plans though. Again, a
Yeah.
coach it's different for every team, and a good
Yeah.
coach just knows what it takes to help a group win. You're like a manager, you're a therapist, you're
Oh
a
yeah.
friend. It's you don't have to have all the X's and O's. If you do, that's fantastic. You don't have to have all the you just need to know how to get a group. You have to be a good leader. You need to know how to get a group to buy into a mission, to the culture, to what the team mission is, right? And that's what makes a good coach, and that's crucial to an organization's success. And it's like that with anything in business and
Oh yeah, it's
whatever.
not yeah, exactly. It's not any
Totally.
different than anything. You just have to get your team pointed in the right direction,
Yeah.
and wanting to help each other too. Like that's another thing. I think our team has an advantage, is like people aren't worried as much about like play time and like who they're playing with, and they're more worried about, hey, it's you know, or Marcelo's having a bad day. Let's see how we can make his day a little better, even though he's having a tough day out there. Maybe we'll let him pick the lunch spot or something,
Yeah,
whatever.
give me a phony player of the day. I was like,
Yeah,
screw you guys.
yeah,
It's almost worse. Just I have one good point. Here it is.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
Marcelo could
exactly.
pick lunch.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
exactly.
I'm going home.
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't believe they were like, I screwed that up at the event, this World Cup. I really screwed it up when they asked me who to player to pick. Like
Yeah.
you can't pick one of your players because it's like picking which kid you like best. Like that's just stupid.
I thought
I
that was
should have
lame of them.
I
I
should have
like
picked
what happened.
myself. I thought that I should have just
You
picked
should have.
myself, and then
You should
just
have.
and been like, see, that's what you get, Maddie, for not choosing. I'll just pick myself. So
Yeah. How interesting. How weird. And honestly, I don't think that would ever happen to any team other than Dynasty.
I don't think.
Of
Well, I
like,
also think you guys don't care.
no, I know.
It
That's what I'm
doesn't
saying.
matter.
Like me and Blake, honestly, I was like, this is as cool as it can get.
Yeah,
New owners, new like talking about MVT instead of MVP the whole
yeah.
time. I was like, man, it's actually it doesn't get much better. It's like that's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
It's
I
pretty
was
pretty
secretly
special.
hoping though that Short would win it, just because that would be hilarious. And because when he called me, I was like, he's like, "Yeah, I'll play if I can win the gold barrel." And I was like, "All right." I called Turbin and ordered it with your name on it already. So that was before the
But
event.
then he got us a major in the
Yeah,
finals.
oh yes, exactly. So probably
Fucking
then
short.
threw that out the window. So
He played
whatever.
great though, dude. Talk about, I mean,
Oh my
Tyler, you
God.
and I are like meticulous about hard work, preparation, dedication. Like you and I are like militant about it. And these guys just come in and stroll along. You have Alex win the
Yeah,
MVP last event in Chicago.
yeah.
You have Short come in, ball out. You have Dalton just show up and like,
Didn't
it's
play
like,
two
dude,
matches. Was coaching, and then this comes in and plays Sunday finals.
yeah.
Like it's no
And
big
does
deal.
well, does
Yeah,
great. You know, I'm like, how, how, how
yeah.
you?
I don't know.
It's crazy.
Oh, that's Brandon Short, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
I think I've
Yeah.
learned a good lesson the last couple of events actually, and skating it. Honestly, you've done a great job of kind of opening my eyes to maybe a different possibility of how another path to success. Not that one's better than the other, but that sometimes maybe a step back and in a different direction is good, you know, and not being so
Yeah,
militant and concerned with certain things. And sometimes maybe a little bit of chemistry and fun is more important, or, you know, just making sure there's a good balance and knowing when to do one thing and when to do another thing. And I've implemented that with the team that I coach, Wrecking Crew.
yeah.
We kind of revamped everything this year and picked up a bunch of new players and got rid of some old toxic players. And we went out to an event and we had only one day to practice together. Right. So we had a nice practice. And that night, usually I do like a really nice meeting. We do, you know, it's like at least an hour, 2 hours, and we go over all the game plans. We're really diligent with everything. I said, we're not talking about any game plans tonight. We're going to play a card game. Killer. I think I talked about it on PTG
Oh,
with you
that's a
before,
fun
Ty.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I was like, we're gonna play a card game, Killer. We're gonna play a really fun game. Everybody's gonna have a good time and get to know each other and get comfortable, right?
yeah.
And everyone's like, "What the hell, dude?" You know, the owner was like, "I'm paying you to come out here and do this." You know, I'm like,
Yeah,
trust me. You know,
yeah,
we showed up the next day and we talked game plans right before the match, and we went out and the team won the event, went undefeated, and won, you know, a little regional D3 event, but
yeah.
still, like, there's an interesting balance with, and Ty, you did kind of say paintball is different in this way that it's unique, but honestly, I think it's probably like that in all sports.
Oh,
I think all
absolutely.
athletes have been like, you know, at some point they're like, hey, we're on this diligent regiment 24/7. You know what? Let's go have a golf trip together. Let's just have some fun. You know, let's go out to the bar this weekend. Let's go to a nice dinner. Like something, you know, something to kind of
Yeah, I
shift
mean,
things and, you
those
know,
like I mean, businesses do the same thing. They do those corporate retreats or outings or whatever you want to call them. They're not just doing that to just waste money. Like, I mean,
right.
like there's value in it. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, you have to figure out what that is, but I do think it's important. Because like you want to know what that person does in between time. Like, you
That's right.
like what want to make fun of them or like, you know, bet like Mikey doesn't know anything about baseball, so we went to the game and we bet coins on that, and he lost. And he's like, "What?" He was so mad, and I was like, "Well, you don't know anything about baseball, so that's fine."
Yeah.
So,
And you know a lot about
Yeah.
baseball, so
well,
that
I watch. You know what video I do watch is baseball, not Go Sports.
But you're right. You know, you learn so much about the person that you're going to go onto the field with by just being like normal everyday life living, you know, whether it's just going and getting some food together or, you know, whatever, just being around each other and living life, you're going to pick up tendencies, you're going to pick up different ways of communicating, and that's all going to move onto the field. That's all going to be a part of the gameplay out there. So it's tremendously important that, you know, you spend that quality time together.
Yeah, I totally think so. All right. So I guess, dude, let's dive into World Cup, the grand finale. Um, Preparation leading into Cup. Did you feel that you wanted to follow the same program as Chicago? Did you think you wanted to change some stuff up?
No, I mean, I was a little worried because like I knew like beforehand the practices, like Dalton was missing one, and then Alex missed one and a half, and then and I was super worried because like I like because of Philly, because people got beat up after all those points and things like that from practice and from the tournament. I was like, man, like I didn't like this at all. So we like brought little Ben came out, and then Short came out, and Damien came out for practice, and that just helped a little the wear and tear on the people. And I also realized that it helped Yosh a lot too, because he likes talking to everybody in between the points, and when you only have like seven guys, like you don't get to.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
like we had 10 guys, and that was the first time this whole year we had 10 guys out of practice. So like I think that helped a lot, especially it certainly helped Yosh. I know that much. He told me. So, and I'm sure it helped other players too. They might not have realized it, but it does. So, uh, I did want that. I didn't like that I didn't have enough guys for the impact practice because I was worried about people getting hurt, and that exact thing that I thought might happen did, which is terrible. But I do think there is something about wear and tear on people and being able to watch some points in between points that is helpful that I'm going to try to correct for next year.
How so? Yeah, I guess, for the listeners and for any coaches out there, what does that look like to you? How do you correct that kind of stuff? What's the ideal roster size? What's the ideal practice schedule for you as a coach?
Well, I mean, the practice schedules are pretty much like set for almost every pro team, I feel like. I mean, maybe there's a couple teams that, play a little more in the week before, but pretty much everybody plays the 2 weekends before and maybe has some drills or something. But it's like that's pretty much set. Like, so that's like fine for me. Like literally after about 3 hours, I can usually figure out any field anyways. It's just
Halfway
figuring.
through our practices, you're like, I'm ready.
Yeah, yeah, no,
I'm like,
because
dude, we have a whole day ahead of us.
no, yeah, and I'm just like, I'm done, I'm cool. But you guys, it takes you guys a lot longer to figure it out because you're not watching, you're
We're not as
playing.
smart as you.
No, it's not that at all. It's because you're not watching, you're playing. So, and you don't watch the other team too. So, like,
Of
I
course,
see
yeah.
what people screw up, and then I figure out the individual players need the reps on each spot or thing, play or shooting lane, whatever it may be. Like, that's what takes the longest, and yeah, it's just sharpening those skills, I
Kevin,
guess.
I just realized something. Holy shit. I can't believe I didn't say this earlier. You have the AirPods in.
Yeah.
Okay. Please, if one of them starts dying, you have to put it in the thing and charge it. They can't
Gotcha.
die. If they die, it'll kick us out of this whole thing.
Okay.
Those ones are so slick. I didn't even realize.
Oh, those are they're the pro ones that they're
Yeah.
for on the plane. So like
Yeah.
you cancels the.
Yeah. That's funny.
Let me
Yeah.
see.
So like put one in.
It says 52%. We should be good.
Okay. Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Just
charged
make.
them. Yeah, because
Okay. Awesome.
I've listened to enough other podcasts that I just hate when there's bad audio or that stuff.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt your thing, but I don't know why. It just like it shuts down the audio platform, which is really weird.
Okay.
So it's like a big pain in the butt.
Gotcha.
So, anyway, yeah, okay. I do agree. I think at practices, I love to watch. I absolutely
Yeah.
love when we're practicing to like take a couple points off and watch our guys play and watch. I get a lot out of that.
Half the time I'm like not even on the field. I'm like watching up in the stands or up in the tower or something.
Yeah, letting us do whatever we want, and it's really
Yeah.
frustrating during those times.
Yeah,
I'm like-
exactly. But I have to learn it. I have to learn it
we have
first.
Mikey making plays.
Yeah. And I also like to do that too
I
because
know.
then he'll appreciate
Love you,
my
Mikey.
job.
Yeah.
And he's got to learn too at some point. He's coaching a
agree.
team too.
I
So
agree. Yeah.
he needs to learn all the things, and he gets so mad at me when but it's like I think he's started to finally figure it out, like that.
Well, it's
That's
funny
how
at
he
Cup.
learns.
At Cup, you kept saying like, Mikey, where do you want to go? And finally, I had to go. I go, Mikey wants you to tell him where to go. And you're like,
Yeah.
no, Mikey, where do you want to go?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly. So
okay.
yeah, so yeah, but I mean, I'm not picking on him, but like it's helpful because he's the newer player, so
Of
he
course. Yeah.
yeah, like yeah. If Ryan also like Ryan's at the opposite end of the spectrum, right? He's probably played the longest and talks the most. So it's just like sometimes I'm like, no, you're not doing that. Don't do that at all. And then I made him go in the middle because he was like complaining. He always complains about our middle guys not being good or
He
getting
complains
shots
about
stupid.
every spot that's not his spot.
Exactly.
Not doing good.
But the point is, I'm like, you go there then. If you're gonna
And then he
complain
goes there
about
and does it better than most people is the thing.
sometimes,
Like,
but
fuck.
at least he realizes it kind of sucks. Like it
Yeah.
sucks being in there when you don't have like one thing I always like to tell people is when you play like on the like the Dorito one or the snake, you got a wall on this side of you that you're safe from. when you're in the middle, it's just nothing. There's just anywhere they can come from anywhere. People forget about that. That's like you have this nice wall over here. No one's gonna sneak behind you on that
Mm-hmm.
side.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
No, you're absolutely right, man. I remember
Yeah,
like even when I first started playing paintball, hyperball, 10
yeah,
man, early 2000s, I would always charge the middle,
yeah,
and because it was just so much more difficult. You had so many more layers to think about.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And with 10 man, there's twice as many guys. Like
Yeah.
I mean, you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, it was fun. Shout out to the hyperball.
Yeah, the middle's tough. And kind of bringing it back to like Blake playing the middle, I just want to go ahead and say that I've been advocating for that for a long time because Blake plays the Doritos like a middle player.
Yeah,
Just
that goes all the way back to when we won
2018 Prague.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
2018 Prague, we put Blake in the middle and we won the event and he got the MVP. We beat Impact in the finals. And Blake has always played the Dorito side like a middle player, just totally reckless. And
Yes.
like, balls to the wall and it works sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't work, but it always is chaos. And I'm like, the Dorito side, you need a little more like of a methodical attack, right? He would have some points where he'd go down and shoot 4 or 5, but too many where it would get stopped. I'm like, dude, with these middles, you can just go through and totally whamble, right?
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
I think things that people don't realize is when there's those players, it messes up the whole rest of the field. It
yeah,
doesn't
it
matter if he
does.
doesn't shoot anyone. There's 3, 4 people looking at him, shooting him, overshooting him because he bunkered one of their guys. And you know what happens? Everything else opens up right
Totally.
then. So it's like that's something that's overlooked a lot. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
he did get shot off the break or shot silly somehow because he didn't see one guy, but he also opened up the sides, and if you take advantage, you can take advantage.
I think he's the best in the league up the middle. I think it was A-Rod for a little bit, and I think Blake does it that much better. I truly do. I think he's like a little smarter with it and just a little more consistent in that attack. And he has really become like in that position. So I've played against Blake a lot over in Australia as well, and that's where I would see it too. Because we go out there 4 times a year, and he would go up the middle quite a bit, and it's like this dude is just reckless up there, and just not reckless isn't the right word. He's a dominator up there, a destroyer up there, right? And I'm like, dude, this is something that we could use for sure. Having this in the arsenal will open everything up, and he's owned that position incredibly well.
Mm. And it's because he feels so comfortable with the people around him. If you put different individuals around him, it may not be the same story, but what he has around him makes him feel extremely comfortable to where the fact that he could, digest information, give out information, know that it's getting to the right areas, know that it's hitting the right ears, and that they're going to do the right things with it. And then he's able to play off of that. And it's an orchestra. The paintball game is a symphony. You got to have all the instruments.
That's a good word
hitting.
for that. Yes.
Yeah. They have to be all going together.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about paintball and the art of the game and the game plans is, and I kind of, this last event was really cool, finally being able to attack and play the one again. I haven't done that in a long time in a tournament. I mean, in Philly, a couple points, you put me out there as the one. In Chicago, a couple points. But after we lost Dalton, it was like, okay, this is going to be your spot, right? The one on the Dorito side.
Well, that happened before that, though. You asked before that you wanted to play out there. And if you want to play out there, that's what you should do.
I know, but obviously I wasn't going to get that spot over Dalton, when we were in practice. And if we were at the event, Dalton was probably going to play that spot. We would interchange some. You did a good job of that in Chicago because Dalton was shooting more people off the break than me, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah. That's why I was like, this is fine.
I was like, what the hell? How are you shooting this guy, Dalton? And I'm not.
Yeah.
But for me, it was at the last event. I mean, just totally gambled. Usually I like to preserve my body if I can. I'm like, I don't want to risk it too much. But I realized even points that I would run like around and up to the Dorito 3 on the break, even if I would get shot on the break, like for some reason we would still win those points. It would open things up and things happen. And I'm like
opening different parts of the field.
Yeah, totally. And there were times that I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to attack. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And it would just, I realized it helps like the spacing, if you compare it to like the
Yes.
NBA, it's like spacing, right?
Yes.
And that spacing is so crucial. So it was fun. It was really fun to play that position again. I hope you let me do it more.
I screwed it up though for you for that one website that said you're in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. You're out.
Oh yeah, damn it. Well, it is what it is. I'll take it. I'll take the World Cup win.
Yeah, exactly. So, but
Shout
you're
out to
definitely
Iconic Paintball. Oh my goodness. You know what? This is so funny. We're on the show right now. Iconic Paintball is fantastic. We have actually been working with them. We have these iconic questions that we do on each show.
Okay.
Quinn Nadu is he's the main guy. I just think it's cool that you're seeing a lot of these like story-based paintball companies coming back to life, right? And trying to build the hype and the media around the game.
Yeah, he's been crushing it.
Yeah, I think just even like he had that top 50 thing, and certainly there's players I don't agree with on that, but it doesn't matter. It starts conversation, and it makes things a little more interesting than having nothing. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's been outstanding to work with. We love him.
Yeah, 100%. And also, Miko was just on our last show. Him and Zizek are helping with that paintball nerd. I don't know if you heard about that.
Right. Yeah, no, yeah, I went over to Miko. Miko lives really close to me, so I went over there, and he told me about that the other day.
That's such trouble. How often do you guys go out?
Not that much.
What?
Yeah, it used to be my roommate for a while, but now not as much. Yeah. So.
Yeah, Miko's a lot of fun. Miko's cool. I think it's amazing that he's back like heavily on the paintball side, working with Go Sports. I like what.
Well, I mean, he's been working at Push for a while now, I believe. So
yeah, he has, but like kind of he would maybe come to the events. You don't really see him. I think he has a lot to offer the paintball world. So yeah, it's good. Good to see him back. All right, so where were we as far as World Cup goes? We were down in Chicago. We're at World Cup practice. What was your vibe like going into the event, Coach?
Well, I didn't feel good about it because our practice went so bad. But at the same time, like I also knew some stuff like we weren't shooting like tournament level paint like the other teams we played against were. Like so that always makes me feel good because then it makes it harder on you guys. So like I don't remember what level ball or whatever we were shooting, but it wasn't as nice as theirs. So for a practice. So when you shoot worse paint at a practice, it makes the middle steps of the game way harder. And that's how it's going to be in the tournament. It's not going to be like, oh, we shot 3 guys off the break. Although we did do that one game, which I was very proud of myself for.
Which one was that?
I don't know. It was one of the games we shot 3 people off the break, and I was like, "Wow, that was easy." So,
there we go.
Yeah,
So I just think that's something that I knew that was happening. That even though our day didn't go great, I knew that we were learning more, and it was making our middle game stuff much better because we had to fight through it rather than just having it easy.
What was your honest feeling? Did you feel like we could win World Cup going into the event?
Yeah, because I think our players change they get better as the event goes on usually, and I mean on Sundays we have tons of experience, and after the last, I felt fine about it. I didn't feel like as amazing as I did for Chicago. Like I felt really good about Chicago.
You got kind of mad at us a few times.
When
I felt like maybe you were going to fly home. You yelled at us a little bit.
Yeah. Well, Brandon asked if he wanted to go home, and I was like, "Oh, can I go with you?" And then Alex was like, "Wait, you're quitting?" I was like, "No, I guess not." Yeah, but what did I get mad about? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think it was like, typical Dynasty stuff. I think we were just like talking over you and not quite paying attention. There were some times in the pits where like, you're trying to get us together, and Ryan's changing plays at the box, winging it.
Yeah, and then and Alex is talking about how the plays should all be, and I'm like, you went to one day of practice, shut up. And then he stopped talking so much. I realized that happened. So yeah,
we've got to have the hardest group in the league to coach.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah,
1000% the
it's got to
hardest.
be.
Like,
It's got to
yeah,
be. But
yeah.
okay, all right, cool. So you still had faith. All right.
No,
I
I
I
felt
was
okay
stressing.
about it. Oh, yeah, I know you were. Like, you looked so sad. Like, I was like, oh, jeez. And,
It's crazy.
yeah.
I was because I've just never. I mean, truly never. I could really look back in my career. I've never had like back to back bad days. So if I have like
Yeah,
one bad practice day on a Saturday, it's like okay, Sunday I'm gonna play good. If I have one bad day in an event, it's like the next day I'm gonna play good. I might not play great, but I'm gonna play good. I'm not gonna suck 2 days in a row. I
right.
sucked like 6 days in a row.
Yeah,
It was
probably,
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, why can't I figure this out? Yeah, so I don't know. It was a weird spot to be in my
So
head.
what changed for you on Sunday?
Dude, I don't know. I just kept saying to myself, like, you just got to keep learning. You have to get better and you have to like not make these mistakes. But I couldn't even put my finger on these mistakes because it wasn't like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It was such a weird way that things were not going my way in every point. And so, um, I don't know. I haven't really been able to put my finger on what changed. I guess we were talking about this earlier, Kevin. Like, did you really change anything when we were down 4-0, or did you really change
No.
anything? But like, no, I don't feel like I really changed anything. It was just I woke up Sunday and I felt really good. For me, I was like, okay, it's World Cup, it's Sunday. Um, this is the best feeling in the world showing up for a match Sunday morning at World Cup. Like that feeling brings something out of you. And so uh I don't know, maybe it was that. I'm not sure. Ty, I'm really not. Just I woke up Sunday and I felt good. I definitely felt energized, and I think the very first point of the damage game I kind of went off. Second point, I definitely went off, and I was like from there, I was like, okay, boom, that's all I needed. I needed a little bit of momentum, a little bit of confidence, and I knew the rest of the day was going to kind of go like that.
Yeah, sometimes that's all it takes, Just
Just,
get
yeah, one good point. And
yeah.
Yeah, I
then
was
things
begging for
change.
one good point for like 3 weeks. Please, just one good point. Um, but it's yeah, that's another thing too, though, is that I think there was a lot of pressure lifted knowing that I was playing so bad and the team was doing so well. It's one, it's humbling, and two, it's like a lot of pressure does get lifted, and you can just kind of get back to yourself and your game. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, well, whatever you did on Sunday, it worked, buddy. I was right there when you won everything, cheering you on, clapping for you, making sure.
Were you at the field?
Yes, sir.
Oh shit! Where were you watching from?
I was in the VIP.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
VIP. We don't get those cool wristbands.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
either.
we
I just
do.
know the guy.
I
I
do.
just know the guy. I shake his hand
Yeah,
and he lets me in.
yeah,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
There you go.
Skinny does. Kev has
Yeah,
looks like he's at EDC with all the wristbands he has at
yeah.
these
I know.
things.
Yeah, yeah. Always.
Kev's
Yep. I would
connected.
have much rather been on the field battling it out with you, but I was forced to be in that damn VIP, man.
Yeah.
I mean, at least you're watching. Most people leave the field. I don't like staying at the field after we lose.
I like to see how people win. I need to know. I need to know. And like Kevin said, I can't really get it from the phone. So I need to know what's going on because even I'm always going to be looking to be better. And especially when you don't get it done, when you don't win,
Hmm.
I want to know why, and I want to see how other people are doing it because I'm going to see you guys soon. I'm going to see everyone soon, and I want to see who's doing what. I don't want to miss a beat, so I always try to be watching everything I can.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Like, I
Hmm.
mean, especially Tyler that played like a lot of his team's points. Like, so he didn't get to watch enough of, like you didn't get to watch what the X Factor guys were doing against you, but then you get
No,
to watch it against us, and then you're like, oh, okay,
yeah,
that makes a little more sense. So you learn a little bit,
hmm
and you learn a little bit every time. You're going to get a lot better after a while. So,
that's it. Just the
yeah,
point zero one. I'm looking for
yeah,
any edge I
yeah,
can get.
exactly, yeah.
Anything.
Yeah, I agree. Watching how other people win. There was a powerful clip of this college football player. Don't know his name, but he had just lost the championship, and he sat there. He was the last person from his team that sat there and watched the other team celebrate. And sat there by himself and just watched the whole thing. I think there's something powerful about that too. Is like really watching that emotion and really letting yourself feel like the pain from it. Because we've, as a competitor, you're going to probably lose more than you win. Right. And so it's okay, but you need to take that in, and you need to learn from it, and you need to get better from it. And so fully embracing those moments is definitely very powerful. I know when we lost to Impact in the finals in 2017 at World Cup, I kept that second place trophy, above my bed until we won World Cup in 2020. And I finally got to toss that thing out. That
You
literally
didn't give
was,
that to Vic? You just threw it out? He's gonna be
I,
pissed.
yeah. Maybe I did give it to Vic. I don't remember.
I hope
But it's
so.
not here
Gee.
anymore. It's not here
Okay.
anymore. Yeah. Vicky baby. Shout out to Vic. My goodness.
Yeah.
He had us dialed in this weekend. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's something that I think other teams can learn from too. Like, I don't have to worry about anything. Like
Right.
any of the paint, any of that other stuff, like all that stuff. And like he is just as helpful as any player during the events. Like
Oh my God.
it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, and I know a lot of the good teams have that, and that's why they stay consistent and good, is because they have all that pit help, and it's so helpful, like that I don't have to worry about it. It's like it takes this part that I used to have to deal with off, and I don't have to worry about it at all. And it's
Yeah.
great.
Oh,
You know
it's
that
tremendous. It's tremendous. Yeah.
I mean, another thing that he does, and we're talking about information and how important it is to be
Yeah.
able to watch. He makes it so that we have film of all of our practices.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so actually, this back to what you asked Tyler about, like what kind of clicked. I mean, I watched every point that we played against Impact and Uprising. I watched points that, we played against DMG, the Impact played against DMG. I had watched so much film. I felt like I knew this field as good as it can be known. I did drills. I knew like every situation, every possibility, so that comes from stuff that Vic has given us the opportunity to have. If we don't have Vic, we don't have film like that.
Yeah.
He busts his butt. He sits up in the sun all day long, calls the games for us, records everything, gives us the opportunity to go back and watch that. And it's a tremendous help. It's so massively important. So yeah, shout out to Vic. We've had him on the show for like a brief little 10-minute call in one time, but
Yeah.
it would be great to get him on sometime and kind of talk to him a little bit more, because he does a lot for the organization. And
Yeah, but just like you were saying how important the coach is, those other people are just as,
yeah,
if not more important sometimes, especially during the actual the matches. Like it's so important. Like, yeah, you just have to worry about less things. As a player, you
yeah,
worry about less
totally.
things because he takes care of it already.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, shout out to Vic, man. I try to tell divisional teams as well. Like, if you can get a GoPro and a tall 13-foot pole or something, and record your practices, do it so that you can go back and watch yourself, see what moves were made during what situations, what worked, what didn't work, how teams beat you, how you beat other teams.
Yeah.
People often they'll ask too, like, what are you watching for when you watch your games? And sometimes I can't really put a finger on it, but I'm absorbing just so many little micro details, that settle in, and next time I'm on the field, I subconsciously am in a certain situation and I remember a move that was made in that,
Yeah.
you can't really put your finger on it, but it's downloading you with information.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge, dude. Victor does so much for you guys.
Yeah, totally.
Who is the guy on your team, Tyler?
I mean, Big Papa Sarge. We got.
Oh,
I mean,
he's. I saw he loves raking. I know it's
yeah.
funny, but like that's what.
Well, we have a whole coalition. I mean,
Yeah.
we have a coalition of pit crew, and then as well, Sarge has been videoing the practices and uploading that kind of stuff. So it's
Nice. You guys do
yeah.
have video of your practices too?
Yes, yeah. And it
solid.
takes a lot of work, dude. Like
It does.
it is a tremendous amount of work, but like Kevin was saying, it takes all that pressure off of him as a coach having to worry about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a lot of work. It's that, but hey, like if you don't do that kind of stuff, how do you expect to win when other teams are doing that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
You have to. And it's like anytime another team raises the bar, you got to rise to it and figure out a way to raise that bar. Otherwise, you're not going to be winning, unless you're just way more talented. And, in today's league, a lot of the teams are really, really, really good.
Yeah.
So,
It changes like every event too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so
Hmm.
it's very interesting to see like the ebbs and flows of how teams like rise and fall or come back again. Like, it's interesting to me.
Oh, it's so interesting. Yeah, it's crazy.
Kev, do you think what? Well, not do you think. Was this your favorite win as a coach?
Uh, I don't know.
Choose
That's
one. You have to choose one from your career.
um one of
Favorite
the
win
ones.
as a player, and then favorite win as a coach.
One win that was really good when I was coaching was Damage. I was coaching actually Rainey and the Damage guys, and that one was really good because we had gotten to the finals twice that year, I think, and got second twice. And I was like, it was just it was very frustrating. And then the third event we did terrible, and then the fourth event we won, and it was like it was rewarding because like it was a lot of effort for me. Like I was flying to Florida for practices, like just like it's a ton of effort. So that one was pretty cool, and that was the first win with that team. But I think the best coaching win I've had was I don't know what year it was, but I was coaching Dynasty and we played Philly Americans and like it wasn't Philly, it was like in Pittsburgh, but it was at like Smart Parts where like it was like behind it. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
if you remember
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And we just destroyed them like on their all their fans were there, they were like booing us. It was great. I love that stuff. And we just beat, and I played 10 whole guys, and I would just switch back and forth like in the finals, and I never do that. So it was like really cool. I thought that one's probably my favorite one. Yeah, like yeah, Quincy was playing awesome. Like just everyone was playing awesome. So it was like so nice because I didn't have to like worry at all. Like it
Hmm.
was just great.
Yeah, makes your job easy.
Yeah,
Dude, shout out to Quincy, man. I was actually just talking to him on Instagram the other day. Quincy is the absolute man. He
yeah,
still watches. He's still a
yeah,
fan.
yeah, yeah,
Still, Dynasty alumni.
yeah,
Shout out to Quince.
Yeah,
yeah.
Quincy's the man. I literally was just messaging with him, I think yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
nice, nice. Damn. So not this one. Shucks. We're gonna have to find a way
No,
to.
no, because it's like you guys give me a lot more headaches now. And that team was cool because there were young players on the team too. There was like Ryan Martin was playing on the team, and Alex Savino was on the team, and I forget who else, but there were some players that had barely played pro, and they all played so well. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 100%. So how about as a player?
Uh, as a player, I think, well, like my favorite one or like the coolest one. I don't know. The coolest one
They're
was
not the same thing.
no. Uh, the coolest one was we played in this Paris event. It was 5 man. It was Oliver, Ryan, Rodney, and Opie and I didn't get shot the whole event. To play the whole 5 man event. We didn't lose the game. I didn't have a good shot the whole event. Like it was amazing, and it was just super fun the whole time. And we went to all the cool like sites and stuff like that. It was the best grass I've ever. It was like in a real soccer stadium in like Paris, like downtown Paris, not like the Disney Paris thing that they try to pretend that's amazing. So that one was probably the most fun one, and it had a giant trophy too. So it was I like that one the best because it felt like I was in a real stadium instead of
Yeah.
yeah.
That's like pitching a no hitter. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly, 1,000%. It was so
Yeah.
it was really cool. Yeah, but it wasn't like it was like a one-off tournament too. So like yeah, I don't know.
I think I remember photographs of that venue. Just one of the most beautiful layouts
Oh
ever.
yeah, I was just like, whoa, this grass is ruined.
Yeah. Yeah. It's toast.
Yeah.
Yeah. One second here.
Oh, I can also say the player that I've seen play best ever at an event was 100% Rumsey in that one that was in Riverside or whatever. He played out of his mind, crazy, amazing. I actually saw him this week, and I haven't seen him for a long time.
No way.
And yeah, he came out for like a couple of the damage games. So
Nice.
yeah, he played. I don't know if they have video of that, but if you just watch that guy, that was an MVP. They wouldn't have had a hard time picking. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's Rumsey El Yusuf. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
shout out
look
to
for
Rumsey.
in a player, Kevin? What stands out to you?
What do you mean?
Like for a player that you would want on your team?
Uh, well, I think there's a few things. There's like desire that wants to be there. A person that like complains about practice and stuff all the time is not the person you want on your team because there already is a problem. So, that's something that's important to me, and just like really enjoys it. And like Mikey calls me in the middle of the week and is like, "Did you watch the film of like whatever?" Like
Mhm.
the Sacramento event. I'm like, no, I didn't watch that. Like, I was he's like, well, and it's just so like that desire and that like stuff like that is just like, and I could just tell like the players that really love it play like all kinds of stuff. They'll go play like Ryan goes and plays that zombies game or wherever. Like, like you don't do that for like it's because he really enjoys it. Like, and the coaching, like Blake coaches that gummy bear team, like he just enjoys it. So like he likes being there. So you want those kind of people on your team, really. And then the ones that like just improve, like when you try to help them, like you're like you're doing this wrong, or like with Blake I had like long talk about him because I'd see him like hesitate when he went through the middle, like, and I'm like, you need to stop doing that and just decide and do it, and if it works, awesome. If it doesn't, who cares? But like, don't hesitate anymore. So like I think I've helped him fix that a little bit. So like if you watch the games, like you'll see he doesn't do that anymore. So that's one thing I hope I helped him with. So that's just one example. But like that's what makes you feel good when you're like a coach, is like someone like gets better and you
Yeah,
helped.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. That's one of the most rewarding things of coaching,
Yeah.
or teaching clinics or anything of that nature, is when you see it
Yeah.
click in the players,
Yeah.
and
Oh
you see
yeah.
them
It's
succeed
great.
from it. Yeah.
It's great.
How about a team culture? Like what, if I guarantee we have a lot of players on teams and coaches that are listening.
Yeah.
What would you say to them is the best way to build a team culture?
I think you already talked about it. You have to do stuff other than paintball stuff. Paintball stuff is fun and all, but like, yeah, like we went to the movies and that movie was like
So
terrible,
terrible.
terrible, but it was still fun. Like I mean,
Yeah.
like it was just fun.
Just
It
2
was.
hours and 45 minutes of misery.
I don't even know what the name of it was, other than
The Eternals.
what was the name of the actress in it? She's still hot. I don't know. She's older now, but she's still hot. And
Oh, yeah, I don't know her name.
uh, but and then it's like, yeah, and then you guys are like, I wanted to leave after 20 minutes and stuff, and I was just like, I was still eating popcorn. Yeah, so like it's like little things. Like Yosha's like, oh, do you want to split a popcorn? I'm like, no, I want one for myself. You get your own. But it's just like the little things like that that make it like so much better when you do win, or you do well, or like I don't know. It's just like the culture doesn't. They always say that stuff nowadays, but you can't just like build it. It takes time. It's like your friends. You don't. You're not like best friends with the guy the first day. Like it takes a while. You have to have experiences. You have to have wins. You have to have losses. You have to have like all these things. Like, yeah, you have to know what their kid's name is. Like one of my favorite things is Sunday. I built a snowman with Sloan in the Field One booth. Like that was fun for me because she had a great time, and I like it's crazy to me still that Ryan's dad. Like it's nuts to me, but like those are the
He's an
things that
amazing father
he's a
too,
great
though.
dad
It's
too. That's
crazy to
even
see
it's
them.
it's
Yeah,
great. It's great,
it is. Yeah.
but it's like it makes it even better now that because I known him for so long. Like that's what's great.
Watching
So,
Sloan run out on the field and give him a hug, like right when we
oh
won, was
God,
like,
yeah, you're like,
one of the most precious things that I think I've ever seen in my life. I was like,
yeah,
damn, I want a kid.
yeah, and then right,
I
and
need a
then right
kid right now.
afterwards, she's just like smashing paint, like in the pit, like just throwing it all on the ground, and you're
Well, then
like,
she turns into Ryan.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's definitely some of him in her for sure. So yeah, it's great. But I don't know.
Right.
I think people use that word too easily, like culture like that. Like the pro teams especially. They're like, how can you have a culture when you're like trading guys all the time, or you talk about it like we don't trade guys. Like like I don't know. Like it's just different.
Hmm.
I don't. It takes time.
You're right. You're right that people do overuse the word, but I don't think it makes the word any less valuable. I actually think it's a really good word to describe, like, what you are trying to do within a team. I do think the culture is so crucial, and that should be. It can't be forced, and when it's forced, it's pretty obvious. When it happens naturally, and the culture that you want develops on its own, that's when teams become really powerful, right? But
Yeah,
with
but
success.
for me, it's a slightly different because I didn't ever know how to explain it before. But I listened to this podcast. It's JJ Redick's. I told you about it. JJ
Yeah,
Redick's
yeah,
podcast,
that's right.
and so he was talking to because he retired this year, and then he was
Hmm.
talking to Kyle Korver, who also retired. But he was like, it's Kyle Korver said, it, like basketball is his companion, right? Like it's his friend that's always there. So you have all these other friends that share the same companion. And when you're all kind of on the same page and you're all friends with that thing, it makes it so easy to connect, I
Mm-hmm.
think.
Mm.
It's a weird way to describe it. It's like a person, like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but it's not.
Yeah. No, you're right. That's super interesting the way you put that.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's exactly what it is. Like for them, it was basketball. For us, it's paintball.
Yeah.
It's strange. It's
Mm-hmm.
like your friend. Like,
Yeah.
and you don't get to see him for a while. It sucks. But
Yeah.
or like like yeah,
Yeah. And it brings us all together. It brings this
exactly,
beautiful
exactly.
paintball world
Yeah, you
together.
have these teammates, and you're like you would never meet Mishka ever. Like he lives on the other side of the world, but now he's your friend. Like he's
Yeah.
my friend too. Like it's crazy.
It is
So.
crazy. Shout out to Mish. That guy's a
Yeah,
monster. I
yeah,
love him.
he's like one of my favorite players of all time, easily. Yeah,
Yeah. One of the best attitudes and
yeah,
outlooks in life ever of any person I've ever met, for
yeah.
sure.
100%. Kev, how did you get into the game?
I just went one time with my brother and one of my brother's friends, and then we just went to this field in I don't know exactly what city it's in, but it's like sort of north of Escondido. I don't know what that like. It was like where that
Marietta?
yeah, south of that though. It was like on an Indian reservation or something. So,
Oh,
but
Mr.
it was.
Paintball.
No, it's called Lions Den is the name of it. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
there anymore. It's not
Okay.
what it's
Gotcha.
not there anymore, but it was super fun. And then like I went another time and then another time and then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, the Marine team played there." And I was like, I think Todd played there too when I was there. I didn't know him then,
No
but
way.
yeah, but the Marine team guys were cool. They all had like matching stuff. It had all these cool autocockers and whatever. So yeah, I never played with that team, but yeah. So after at that point, I just found some local team, and then that team became another team, and yeah. So you
What
had to
was
find.
what was the name of your very first local
There
team?
it is.
It was Team Reflex,
The
and it,
Reflex.
it was a three-man team,
There we
and
go.
yeah, I don't think we did very well, but whatever.
How
So
did
yeah,
you
actually,
like get into tournament paintball? Like you just
we just went to this three-man event
yeah,
and that's it. Like, and then
yeah.
the guy actually, what's crazy is one of the guys on the team. Alex just sent his kid that's like 10 or 11 now, an Iron Kids headband, and his name's Evan, and he's like, I'll pay for it and stuff. I was like, no, man, it's fine. I think I know a guy. So, so it's just kind of funny. Like, it's just how it all kind of came back again. So, yeah. So, and
And
then I
so,
guess, and then at some point, like I just started playing, all the time. And at the time, SC Village was pretty big. So all the tournament players started playing there. So like me and BC played on a team together. And then that team became, another team. And then all of a sudden I was playing with, Alex, Ryan, Oliver, Yosh and Angel and Opie, like Rodney, all of a sudden like was one whole team that had the same companion that was on the same page. Because when you're like start on those lower level teams, like sometimes they're not on the same
Yeah.
level as you as far as like what you care about. So
yeah, you see that a lot, where
yeah,
people are trying to find their footing and find other people that are as serious as
yeah,
they are.
exactly, exactly.
hmm
Yeah, so that's why you like usually you end up being better because you care more about it, and then you
Yeah.
find the other people that share that with you. So
Yep.
Are you from San Diego?
no, I'm from Orange County, so
Okay,
I grew up in mainly Dana Point when I was a kid. So
hmm
yeah,
gotcha. SoCal.
yeah, for sure.
Nice. I like Dana Point. It's nice up
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Yeah. San Clemente too. For a
yeah,
while, I would like every year for my birthday, we'd go up and kind of stay on the right there by the beach,
yeah,
where the little train area comes down, like
yeah,
right
yeah.
by the
Well,
pier.
I think that's where San Clemente. Well, my brother lives there, but I think Sarge lives there too.
hmm
I believe.
Oh, is it right in there?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's gorgeous there.
What jersey number did you used to rock when you would play? And did it
99.
what's
99, but they screwed it up a bunch of times. So there's other jerseys that have different numbers, but those are screwed up.
I
Yeah.
see. What was the
Yeah.
significance? Just like 99, or was there a reason?
Uh, I just like 99, and the Wayne Gretzky wore 99, and like
Yeah.
it's a great one, man.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, I don't understand why everyone loves like 23. There's too many of those. There's only a few 99s. So
Hell yeah.
yeah.
I like 99. Rainey's 99 also.
Well, yeah. I told him when he first came on Ironman he couldn't wear it.
What did he wear?
No, he ended up. We negotiated some type of deal.
Okay.
But yes, yeah,
That's fantastic.
yeah, for sure.
All right. SK, dude. So this has been fantastic. We have some questions from our Discord. If
Wait,
you're
I
down.
have a question first.
Okay.
I have one for Tyler. So,
Okay.
like, I thought Tyler and I were friends. We were really good. And we had a tall people group of me, Blake, and Tyler. And I was like, great, finally. Like, all these short people I've always had to deal with. And then he quits the team, like, right afterwards. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, and then I assumed, and then I was thinking about it. Well, it's like, what has changed since last year? And I was like, it's just me. So I think he quit because of me. Pretty sure. I'm not positive, but
No,
I don't
you're
know.
dead wrong, bud. I love you.
Oh,
I
okay.
love you, SK.
Oh, okay.
You're my dog for life.
Yeah, I asked Marcelo. I was like, "Did he quit because of me?" And he's like, "No, I don't think so." And I was like, "Oh man!" I was like, "I just got here and we play bad, and then I lose one of my better players." Like, I'm like, "What the hell?"
No, man. I have nothing but the highest regard for you, SK.
All right, as long as I know it's not me,
Yeah.
it's fine.
No.
I told you it wasn't you, SK. Come on now.
I know, but I want to hear it from him.
Although I would understand
No.
if it was because of you.
Yeah, I could understand that. Yeah.
Dude, SK is so much fun. You're a great guy.
SK's the man.
Yeah.
SK's the
You're
man.
a great guy.
100%, dude. Kev, I can't thank you enough for what you've done for us this year. It's been refreshing because you've really shifted my thinking on a lot of the ways I approach the game. And, I mean, you can't say it hasn't helped. Clearly, again, I just had, in my opinion, one of the better performances of my career, at least on a Sunday, and got some recognition for it. And, one of those variables is how you've kind of handled me and my approach to this event. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to the Discord. We got some questions from Young Stevie. This one's fantastic. Who sucks more, Ben Sloffer or Brandon Short?
That's easy. Brandon and I are like, Brandon's awesome. Although he did get this is Ben. This is easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Ben got 3 majors on Sunday. Was it Sunday or was that technically Saturday for him?
It was Saturday.
Oh, but it was
Yeah,
play
it's single elimination, right?
Yeah. So definitely Ben, and
Oh
Brandon
man,
only
you
got
put the poor kid on blast like that. He's beating himself up
he
already.
deserves it.
He does. He's got to soak it in for sure. I know he's going
Yeah.
to come back better than
No,
ever.
I
That's
like Ben,
tough.
but he definitely sucks more, at least at this event. That's for sure.
We're talking about Brandon Short here too. So yes,
Yeah.
of course. He also says, congrats on winning Cup, your first season back coaching the Dragon. Are you going to bleach your hair next year to lock in the triple World Cup win?
I didn't get that. It won't be a triple one for me.
Damn, take that, Stevie. I mean, that's pretty selfish. It's a team thing here,
yeah, I
buddy.
know, but still, but I won them before. Like,
yeah,
come on.
yeah. But
I
in
mean,
a row.
I coached a team before.
I know, but it's in a row, like a triple. It's called a three-peat. You know what I mean? Going for the
Yeah,
three-peat.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Okay.
you dyeing the hair or what?
Yeah.
No, well,
yeah.
if you look at really old pictures, you can find some.
Yeah, I've seen them. I know them.
Yeah. I think Ryan and I both did it at that time. So,
dude, I love it.
I love it.
CB2K, how do you as a coach determine who to send out or establish the starting five on Sundays?
there isn't a starting five. I that's developed through practice and who I feel good about and who the
It's in the
it's
moment.
just
You got to be in the moment.
and it's
Yeah.
in the moment and it's in from what that player showed in practice and that's hard. That's a really hard thing and that's why I think that first event we didn't do as well because I didn't know who to send out because I didn't have a good feeling about it and I didn't have enough practice. I didn't have enough time with the players. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's how do you choose though? Well, it's hard because you don't want to have certain things all the time. This event, Alex went in the middle a lot, right? And I knew the X Factor guys knew that. And Alex is like, they know I'm going to go in the middle. And I was like, yeah, I want them to shoot at you, not someone else.
Yeah.
So I was like, go the safe way. And he's like, all right, fine. So, yeah, I don't know. It just depends on what you're doing. Hopefully you have enough guys that you can switch it around. Like in Chicago, we played 7 guys, and here I guess we played 7 as well in the finals. So I do think there is some value to resting some guys that go to the harder spots, but there is a rhythm for the inside and back center type of guys off their shooting lanes off the break.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. What to you determines if a player gets hot or not, and whether or not to keep them in? Is it purely on how many people they shoot? Is it
Well, see, the thing is,
spacing?
sometimes you don't know exactly. This field is hard because I can't see it. I couldn't see the Dorito side from very well at all. I can't tell what's really going on during the match. So I need to talk to the players to know. And the snake side's easy to watch, but it's still hard. So
How the hell did you know to keep me over there then, huh?
well, you were just playing it better than the other guys on our team at that point. I mean, Arturo played it pretty good before that, but I was also using him in the middle too, and on the snake side. And it just depended, which game Shorts decided to show up to, and
this the way the field are set up at World Cup, I like more than the way they're set up at other events with the pit behind the field. What do you prefer as a coach? Having the pit on the side, so you do pretty much only see the snake side, hard to see the Dorito side sometimes. Or
I don't. It's better for people to watch how it was at World Cup, because they always put the VIP tent in the middle, and then it blocks out half the field for a lot of the people that are watching. So that sucks. But I don't really like. Yeah, I don't know. I can see the value of both. I just don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which is better.
I love the pits behind the field. Ty, what about you?
I'm with you as well. I like the entrance into the field, the
Yeah,
way,
it's
I don't
so
know.
cool.
Yeah, it just feels
Okay.
better.
It's so cool, and it's almost, you have stadium seating now because you have the VIP on the Dorito side, you have the grandstands on the Snake side, pits on like each end. I think it's sick. I like it
Mhm.
like that. But as a coach, I imagine it's hard because
Yeah.
It's
when one
harder.
team's on the other side, you don't see anything. You don't see
No,
any of the
and
yeah.
this layout, especially with all the bigger stuff in the middle that was like blocking a lot of the stuff, it made it even harder. And that also made it way harder for the refs too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like this field would have been very tough to ref just because there's a lot of stuff in the way. Like, not to mention, standing in the middle of that, you can't do that.
Mhm. Mhm.
Totally. Okay, so I think it was my turn with a coach. From our boy Welshie, congrats on the win. How is this team different than previous rosters that you coached in the past?
Um, I think this team's a little more versatile in the where players can play. Like Ryan, I put all over the place. Like you moved to like the front Dorito spot. Mikey's learning how to play new spots. Blake can play wherever too. Yeah, I think it's a little more versatile, and people are a little more open to playing different spots, especially now that you know, after we won an event, people start to trust me a little more and let me do my thing.
For sure.
Yeah, you definitely building that trust, and then once you get a win,
Yeah,
the chemistry is definitely a lot more
yeah.
alive. All right, we got Chris Young. What was the atmosphere like after losing Dalton and getting Shorty back for one last hurrah?
Well, losing Dalton was terrible because like Dalton's like one of my favorite people, and he's a good balance for Marcelo because he says stupid dad jokes constantly, like all the time. And so like it just takes away some of like the more fun type of like happier atmosphere. And then Marcelo was having a bad day, so it's like, and then Dalton gets hurt, so it's like the end of the world is coming. And
Hmm.
and then Yosh calls me on Monday and is like, because we texted Shorty and he's like didn't answer or something, and then Yosh calls me on Monday. He's like, Shorty's in. And I was like, yes. So like, and I've coached him enough too that I know him well enough, like that I can read him. And so it was terrible, but also great at the same time because I got to get a guy that I understand and read, and he played one day and he played great, even though he hadn't picked up a gun in I don't even know how long. So I wasn't like worried about his level at that point.
No,
And
he's
the team trusted him too, so that's the other thing.
he's the surgeon. That's what we call him. B Short is the surgeon out there. He's
Mm-hmm.
meticulous.
Yeah, absolutely. Shorty slid right in, baby. Okay, from Steve from SoCal Blaze. As an owner of a divisional team who wants to go pro someday, what do you think could be our biggest challenge to achieve those goals? Uh, and what's the balance of player personalities and keeping the skill levels growing?
Well, that's a lot of questions, but
That's a lot. Hmm.
uh,
That was only
one.
part two of the question, too, by the way. There was a
Oh,
part
okay.
one.
The one of the hardest things for some divisional teams is their players get stolen, and this is something that pro teams are do all the time. They take the best talent from you know even they steal other pro players. They steal divisional players. So it can kind of screw up your chemistry if you're constantly renewing people. But I think as long as you have a plan for your team, as far as like, and the people on the team know what it is, like, hey, we're going to play this Division 3 this year, and we're going to go to these events, and this is how we're going to improve. I think as long as you have a plan that everyone understands, like I think that's the best way to do it. I don't really know though, because there's every one of these teams shows up from a different way. So that's a hard thing to like. Some are built all the way. Some are a little more organic and like build up through the ranks. Some like take a little while and then they start playing better. Like I don't know. It's like
Yeah.
that's a tough thing to do. But I would say play local events more than the big events. especially to start. Like that's where you're gonna get more experience. You spend a little less money so you can go to more local events. Like that's something I don't
Yeah.
think teams take advantage of enough at this point. They're so worried about these big, NXL events when if you could go to like three local ones for the same price. Like I don't know why you wouldn't do that.
Yeah, as long as
Maybe
you're playing a lot of paintball, that I mean,
yeah.
if you can make it to any events, be playing events and getting out there and building that chemistry, building that culture like we were talking about with your guys.
I also think like one thing, for example, Infamous has done, and I really think it's affected their whole team, is they play the 10 mans.
Yeah.
And those
Yes.
are like not as serious, but they're fun, and it's another good like fun thing to do. And then like old guys on the team play with the young guys, and then there's like a big common bond between all of them. And then like those older guys will come help out and stuff like that. Like it's something that like there should be some kind of thing where you do where it's not as serious and it still can be fun, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, play as
I
much
agree.
paintball as you can, and then when you guys feel like you're ready for the big show and you're ready for those big tournaments
Yeah,
where all the eyes are on those big ones, then when you show up out there and you make a top 3 or you do something really
yeah.
big, then you start building that notoriety for yourself.
Yeah, because like I mean, I think Infamous has improved a lot just by playing those other ones. Like they play into that competitive environment in a different, it's totally different league, but it still
Mhm.
helps. So,
For
and
sure.
it certainly has shown for their team this year. I mean, they got second overall, right? I mean, I don't know if anyone would have predicted that at the beginning of the year, right? I don't think
Hmm.
so.
No way.
No. Yeah, and I agree with you. Like seeing them play at the 10-man events, they're having so much
Right.
fun and
Yeah.
they're getting
And then they
better at
win.
paintball. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they improve some confidence there. So,
Mhm.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta be like Marsh, you talk about all the time, learning how to win. Whether it's like you said, it's your local tournaments, wherever you can get those wins and build that confidence, and then take it to the next
Yeah.
levels.
Absolutely.
All
Yeah,
right.
like level is another example of that. Like I could tell, like in Philly, I think they beat you, right, Tyler,
Mm-hmm.
in the last game of the prelims.
Mm-hmm.
So they built a little confidence, and then the next event they went 4-0, beat
Yeah.
like, and I'm like, so all it took was that one match, and then it like
Mm-hmm.
their fortunes they were going to get relegated probably. So
Yeah,
their fortunes changed dramatically because of one little boost of confidence.
for sure. And it's contagious. And then
Absolutely.
yeah, people start working hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we got let's see. Bitter medic. As a coach, what is a more desirable skill, communication or experience?
They
Communication.
go. They go hand in hand, though.
Communication.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, you got to connect the dots out there.
Yeah, experience that just comes, but communication, if you're good at that to start, it'll make everything easier.
Yep. All that awareness out there.
Yeah, I think it's just hard for a lot of players that don't have the experience to know what to communicate, and so they fill the airwaves with a lot of useless information, and that's not quite communication, right?
Yeah. Quarterback, you
And
got to be quarterbacking.
and knowing what the player next to you wants to hear
Yeah,
is
totally,
important too.
totally.
Like Yosh brought that up in our meetings with Mikey. Mikey needed certain things
Yeah.
and once he got that, like he wasn't playing great like through the practices, and then once he started getting that information, things started to change. I think for him.
Mhm. All right, all right, all right. So, let's see. I think this might be my last question. It's from the Dorfster. He would like to know how you feel about adjusting to other teams' game plans versus forcing the other team to adjust to yours.
Second part, I like that part better. I
Force
always
other
think it's
teams to adjust to
better
yours.
to force them. It doesn't mean you shouldn't be aware of what the other teams are doing, but
Right.
if you can, you should force the other team because then you're taking away what they might be doing well.
There we go.
Yeah, solid.
All right. We have Inspired Paintball in the house. He wants to know a Dynasty house story. Let's keep it a little bit PG, but it's something, cool Dynasty House story. And also, what is your favorite dessert?
Oh,
It was probably at the Dynasty House.
no, no, definitely not. Well, I didn't live there, so I don't know if people know that. I mean,
Okay.
I vacationed there sometimes, but
Yeah.
Had dessert there sometimes.
I I do remember one time Yosh had a pig as a pet, and it like Yosh had like, do you remember those? I don't know, do they still have them? Like on the tanks, they have those little rubber fill nipple covers.
Yeah,
The
yeah, I know what you're
pig
talking
ate
about.
a whole bag of them, like a whole fucking bag, and this was just shitting out rubber fill nipple covers like
Oh,
for
no.
Oh man.
days. And
Damn.
I was just like, some of the other stuff I probably can't say. So,
Yeah. And
That's
what is your
fantastic.
favorite dessert, my man?
I'm a big fan of pumpkin pie, especially this
Ooh.
time of year.
Yeah,
This time of year for sure.
absolutely. I
Well,
love it.
man, I'm so bummed that we don't have the iconic question this episode. It's totally my fault. I didn't get the question over to Quinn in time, which is a
Oh,
bummer. And I'm gonna have to apologize to him tomorrow. But
oh,
for all the listeners, head over to Iconic Paintball. He's got tons of amazing stuff.
I'm sure I'll have some good stuff after World Cup too.
Oh
So,
yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I know they're doing the iconic awards. Those are going to be coming out here in a little bit, having, iconic player of the year. Ty, I know you were a front runner of that. Defensive player of the year, snake player of the year, Dorito player of the year,
yeah,
all
they
of
had
the
a bunch
things.
of
So
stuff. Yeah.
super cool. Very excited to see who all the nominees are. I think you're the only one they've released as a nominee so far, Tyler, but much deserved. You've been iconic pretty much since the day you stepped onto the pro field. So, very interested to see, how all that kind of pans out. But iconicpaintball.com. Everybody check that out. And Kevin, man, thank you so much. Thank you so
Hell
much
yeah.
for hanging out with us. It was a blast.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to go celebrate here pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on the show, Kev. We can't wait to see you coming into the new season and start battling it out again,
Yeah.
once we hit this new season.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
All right, good night.
Peace.
Peace.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys again for hanging out with us. We hope you enjoyed that one. It's amazing to be back from World Cup. Obviously, getting the win was huge and really joyous and fantastic and exciting. But we're incredibly thrilled to get back to bringing you guys amazing shows. And we have a lot of awesome people on the list in the coming near future. That was a blunder of a sentence, but you know what? I'm not going to delete it. I'm gonna play this one because I'm excited. Again, excited to be back doing the shows and bringing you guys all this amazing stuff. So, as always, guys, we will see you very, very soon. If you would like, you could head over to our website, ptgpaintball.com, and sign up for the Patreon. Become part of the Discord. Get active. We know all the GOATs were out at World Cup. It was amazing, fantastic time for them. And yeah, alrighty, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.